Lord Darkness my ass.
Alright. So, for the 3 or so people that are watching, thank you. I'm pretty sure Kyle and Steve are out there. What's up, buds? Alright, so I want to go around very quickly and just kind of everybody say your race and class and name of your character. There was a little slideshow playing beforehand, so people can't really put a name to the face.
Oh, that's cool.
So we'll start on this side and then just kind of loop around.
Alright. My character's name is Moldrak. He's a shaman, which is a homebrew class. He's also a homebrew race, so he's like a buff calf person. You can see it on the slideshow beforehand. That's pretty much it. Level 8.
What's your name? Your name in real life?
Brandon.
Doesn't matter. Oh, my turn.
Dogs,
Okay.
when we're famous.
Doesn't even know my character.
My name is Devin. I play a character named Finn Williams. He is a level 8 Chronomancer, which is a homebrew class, but he is a half-elf. Used to be a bard, made a few decisions that led him into being a time magician, and that's about it.
Unfortunately, we don't have anything for Shadow on the slideshow yet, but that's coming. So just wait for that. And our resident Skip is not here.
Brandon, call me that shop. My Shadow, the Inara, which is kind of like a dog version of the Bengarran. And I'm a rogue, Shadow Rogue with a homebrew.
It was specified before that this is very heavily homebrew. I think Shaddy is the only person who has something that's just straight up normal content. Alright.
I'm Chevy, I follow the rules. And,
He doesn't cheat.
I'm playing Orm Hammerfell, who's a Tempest Cleric, Mountain Dwarf, also level 8.
My name's Jerry. I play a sorcerer named Connor, whose specialty is in astral magics, cosmic, level 8.
Cosmic brownies.
Jarrett, okay, that's my name. Ander Wetfoot, halfling, hardmaster, also homebrewed class.
Very heavily homebrew. Alright, and I am Billy, the DM for this wonderful game with my great friends here and brother. The world is Zaxria, and currently where we last left off was the city of Farhelm, a city within the dwarven kingdom of Yoldguard, kind of near the bottom part of the Brimshire mountains. A very wealthy trade city, where there is also a particular faction of people within here, the Brawlers of Beltha. Beltha, who Orem and Skip know and remember from the holy city of Teneveth, Beltha being the god of like the glory of combat and like honor. The Brawlers of Beltha are a small group here that hold a tournament in honor of Beltha in order to pay some sort of tribute and homage to him and give some sort of a spectacle of combat, which you ran into an individual within the tavern that you were in, the Battered Bear, a very bulbous, kind of chunky human individual, big ears. He was a little intoxicated when you first saw him. There were people that were egging him on, trying to get him to fight him, but he was just not having it. And then the second that they kind of really pushed him to the edge and slapped him in the back of the head, he turned around and fought him and probably 4 other individuals by himself in this very kind of slumped over, falling around, drunken fighting style, from which you guys would imagine is the way of the drunken monk. But it seemed like he definitely knew what he was doing, but also enjoyed drinking and indulging in, some lively, fun stuff. Kind of fell over in a chair next to you guys and started discussing and talking with you, and leaned over and was telling you about this tournament that was going on. And that he could probably get one of you to fight after you told him that you were keepers, and he was very, kind of intrigued by the idea of one of you competing in the tournament. Turned around, made his way up the kind of loft area that's within the Battered Bear, and you guys as well representing these kind of scrolls that you received from King Bertrand Yoldguard that were saying, like, you know, you did something for the kingdom, so you show this token in places and it gives you some sort of access and free, you know, lodging and food. So you guys find yourselves within your rooms, getting some sleep for the night. Is there anything anybody wants to do beforehand?
I haven't already attuned to the ring.
Okay, yep. So you got your ring of protection. Skip also got a ring of protection. You got the sword card. You got the knight card. And what was the first one?
I got the protection one.
Yeah.
And the one that glows colored or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. I'll have to get you those cards later.
I would imagine Skip would have tuned to his ring as well.
Yeah, I have this. Just active. Alright. Skip not being here. But we did discuss what we were going to do. You guys wake up in the morning. Skip is a little later to come like downstairs and meet you guys down there. Usually he's the first one up and always there, like right on time. Makes his way down towards all of you who are gathered around in your little table, sitting down. Skip walks over his very large metallic self, makes his way. Looks a little more on the joyous side as opposed to yesterday when fighting was discussed and he kind of just snapped to the opportunity and was ready to do it. Kind of walks over. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Where have you been?
I was thinking a lot about things and my dreams that I've been having and how
You can dream?
I didn't think I could either, but I can. I've been having these weird dreams that I'm seeing from the perspective of a human, and I have human hands and human feelings, and there's a human girl, and there's like human places.
Gross.
But
No, continue, I'm sorry.
But for the most part, it makes me feel differently than I did before, as opposed to before I met you, when I felt nothing, really. But I think yesterday, when I decided to fight, that was not me thinking. That was emotion that I could not control. But I do think that one of us should try to compete. It would be interesting to see. So whoever else would want to do that instead of me, please do.
Alright, so we drawing straws or,
I don't think we have to decide right now, do we?
It's a hard no
when is
for
it?
me.
It's just one of us.
So you three, missing last session, they pretty much came to the city after leaving, you know, where it was and just trying to like take a little reprieve and relax. Found themselves in the city of Farhelm, which is, it's on the map here. I'll take this off and set it on the middle table. You're pretty much over towards the eastern coast right now.
Yep.
You're on the Crystalline Sea, but not quite on the coast itself. Over here, there's a city, like right at the bottom part of the mountains, Farhelm. It's a dwarven trade city that also has like a lot of humans and stuff within it as well. It's pretty lively. There's quite a bit like going on most of the time. The tavern itself probably has close to like 40 people in it at a time. It's a quite large facility. You know, there's like 2 floors to it, large central bar area. But when you guys first came here to the bar, an individual by the name of Baji, who was this kind of drunken monk, told you guys about a tournament that was going on here, and you guys let him know you were keepers, and he pretty much was like, oh, one of you guys want to compete? I could probably get one of you to compete. So that's pretty much what you're at right now.
But do we know when the actual thing
There's
is?
supposed to be like a training thing going on for you, like in the morning, sometime, probably within the next few hours. So it's like a preliminary thing to see if you can even really do it.
Okay. No, you know what? I think the normal thing for us to do be go, oh, let's get our big cat friend in there. Let's get our big burly boy in there to slap some heads around. But no, let's give someone else the spotlight. Like
I completely agree.
no, fuck you.
No.
Orem.
Me?
Yeah.
I think to decide, we all fight each other.
We've done that before. We know how that goes.
Yeah,
Not
we sure
with our
do.
fists.
With what?
We can do that.
That's how you have to fight, remember?
That guy was fighting just last night.
Like hand-to-hand combat. Like, it's not, there's no like magic.
Maybe
Like
we
bare
should
knuckle
just,
boxing.
we just kind of defeated the primordial evil. Maybe we should just take it easy.
Whoa!
What?
I want to fight somebody, okay?
You do?
Yeah.
You sure-hander? I'm pretty sure I could kick you through this bar wall.
Oh.
Well, alright, let me
You didn't
diffuse
say you could kick.
Let's diffuse this. I'm just saying, like, I'm kind of on his side right now. Why do we gotta take it seriously? Do we have to win everything? Why don't we just have
Yes.
fun?
I didn't say I wanted to win.
Maybe we can just watch it.
Yeah, we could put. He said,
Yeah, we could
that's
watch
where
it.
the money's at.
We
Just
could watch
put bets on.
Orem fight.
To place bets, you need money, and I don't know about you guys.
I
I
will
don't
look
have
at
any money.
Do we know what the competition looks
I
like?
don't think I want to bet that.
You do not. You're kind of waiting around here till Baji makes.
Okay, but like, what's the worst thing that could happen? We could walk in, whoever goes in maybe gets their ass handed to them, and then oh no, like what are we gonna lose?
The great
That's what I'm saying.
Keepers of
Somebody's
Zaxria
like, oh, I
lost.
defeated the keeper, and then they tarnish our name.
That's fair.
Do they know we're keepers? All of
We
them?
could beat them by
Then we-
Baji does.
They definitely would.
Then we really kill him.
Why do?
Oh wait, no, that's not what we do. I was
Heroes.
kidding.
Heroes.
Why doesn't the person that fights
That part.
goes under disguise?
Shave my beard.
I pulled my mask up. I pulled my mask up. Well, they can't even tell anymore.
Shadow Lord wears a mask. Nobody can even recognize him.
They probably didn't even see him. Let's be honest.
That's true. He might not have been.
Yeah, but is he gonna do well?
Shadow's fighting for us.
He can't he gets
Does dogs have fists?
Yeah, Shadow's not even a keeper.
like he.
No, they don't actually. You're right. Shit.
Oh, we know.
That seems like a weapon, but
Now it's just like no
Have you
magic
played
period, or like I
Sky?
just magical like abilities.
Not really sure.
I don't guess a spell. I don't think cast spells do well.
You'd imagine it's probably like it'd be explained, but for the most part, you'd imagine it's probably just gonna be like very, very raw, straight up like bare knuckle boxing.
If you're really interested in doing it, you can go to that training. Just see what's going on. I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be part of it.
Yeah, me either.
that was I really thought Connor should
I
fight.
just kind of want to relax for like the next month while we travel.
We all deserve it.
We also deserve to do what we want, and I want to fight the thing.
If you want to fight, I will encourage you. I'll
Orem, do
train
you want to fight?
I mean, a little bit.
Then we have to fight to figure out who's gonna fight then.
I don't know.
All right, that
Okay, I was
sounds
just
good.
kidding. I don't want to fight. I was kidding.
I don't want you either.
Okay. You can fight. You go for that one.
You can fight.
He
You
can
might
fight
be able
also.
to take him. He's like twice your height, but you might be able to take him.
He isn't very tall either.
At this point, it's probably close to 7:30, 8 in the morning, probably getting a little closer to 8. You can see over towards the bar, kind of slumped over it, instantly making his way down the steps, gets over to the bar, turns around with a drink in his hand and kind of like uprights and is like cracking his back, and you can see him like rolling his neck and just stretching. Baji. He's got this kind of wiry, bushy beard. His hair on the top is like a buzz cut. He's got these big ears, kind of bigger like mouth and teeth. This very, very nice but kind of dirty leather tunic on that has like matching pants with it. Starts like making his way over towards you, and it's kind of like this waddle that he has that he kind of walks over. It doesn't look like he has like a limp or anything. It just looks like before he was never really this big, so now that he is, he has to really compensate and try to figure out, just makes his way over. Hi, good to see you.
Are you
Kind of raises the
drinking
drink.
again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Why not?
maybe somewhere.
it keeps me going, it's me fuel. Kind of taps the bottom a little bit, splashes
So
up.
I feel that.
You drank it and then you punched that guy really hard.
Also, how are you up right now?
I couldn't tell you. Probably excitement for the tournament that could do it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, quick question. What are we up against?
we'll probably see when we get over to the prelims. I gotta go talk with Duke and see if we can get you in there.
Can we all go over there and take a look before we decide who?
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Duke's the leader of the Brothers of Atha. He's a really gnarly son of a bitch, that one.
Oh, good.
If I can give you some advice, don't tussle with him at any time.
Like skater boy gnarly or like
Both? Alright.
Just doesn't kickflip.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Right there.
Alright, gang.
Everyone eat? Drinks? Something? You alrighty?
Yeah.
Alright, follow me then. He kind of slams the drink, sets it down, and walks over to the bar, puts a little bit of gold on there, and then reaches over and like pours a little bit into the tankard. Alright, here we go. Off we are. And starts kind of gesturing out, gets to the door. You start making your way through the city at this point. You pretty much initially only saw the front part to begin with, and have now started making your way deeper in. You can see that the city itself isn't, like I said before, against the mountain, but it's pretty close and adjacent to it, to where it's kind of built on this elevated, this elevated structure. There's a lot of raised buildings, a lot of buildings that have parts of them that are in some sort of a hill. There's these very, very strong cement, like not cement, but like stone foundations that are holding up these buildings that are made of like wood and stuff like that. The wood craftsmanship's not as good as the stone, but nonetheless the buildings are pretty nice. It's a lot more modern than most normal cities are. There is, from what you can see, people making their way around all over the place. People are talking in corners. People are over by vendors discussing, prices and going back and forth. You can see several of the people that are here are not like extremely well dressed, but they don't have on just like a tunic and some pants. Some of them have on these nice coats that they're wearing, even in this kind of warmer weather right now that is in Zana or Taga. It's starting to get a little warmer, so it's kind of like this spring feel, but you can see some people are just not adapting to the cold nearly as well as, others were. People make their way past on carts and horses. There's probably close to, 400 or so people within this city that you would just approximate. There's people all over the place. You can see that there are guards here as well. The guards that are from like the Dwarven Kingdom of Yoldguard, they all have the same armaments on. These very dragon-like shoulder pads, these nice Valkyrie-like helmets that have like dragon heads on them, as opposed to like these wings that go back. But as you're making your way through, Baji is just kind of, hey, alright, good morning now, alright, I see you at the tournament, yeah, alright. And just keeps walking past and takes a drink. Gets to a point where he doesn't have anything left in the tankard and finds a person over on the side and just kind of, hey, you got any spirits or anything? And the person there, oh yeah, sir, let me see. He kind of walks over. You see this guy's got a bunch of like kegs and stuff around him and like these very nice glass bottles. Takes the tankard. Oh shit.
Can I get one too?
Yeah, or me. Yeah, get him one. Get the.
Oh, well, thank you.
No problem, anything for a keeper. He just kind of reaches down and gets a much smaller, just like wooden, basic cup. Hands it over.
I'm liking this place, guys.
Alright, takes a sip. Alright, man, come on now. Well, keep up. And he starts stumbling along. Even though he's kind of bigger, he moves with like this quickness to him, and everything's very, very fast. He's moving around. He's always looking around and saying hi to people and waving.
How strong is it?
The ale?
Yeah.
It's just like normal ale. It doesn't seem like anything too special.
Like compared to the keep.
Compared to the keep, where you're drinking like water and wine and like the occasional ale that they would get in, it's pretty strong.
Warms the belly.
Starts making his way forward. Gets to a point where you can see all of these roads are like cobblestone. It's almost like the mountain itself has some sort of rock structure that came down, and that was like tore away and built upon, and then the road was just left in the middle, and that's more like rocky. Once you get to a point where you can see there is, excuse me, there is a large kind of elevated wooden platform. There is this kind of circular stage, essentially, that you can see. There's stairs on both sides that wrap up to it. The platform itself is probably a good 15 or so feet off the ground, so you can't really quite see on top, but you can see close enough to where you can see people are up there. A few individuals standing on top, you begin to ascend the steps. Baji is also kind of walking up, turns around and kind of looks at you guys. Probably just kick back for a little bit. Come up with me, but just over to the side. All right? All right.
Yeah.
Kind of thumbs up and then takes a drink. Why don't you hold this? Kind of hands you the tankard and starts walking, dropping the bag to holding it. Starts walking over, walks up and gets up to the top of the platform. And all of you guys behind him looking, you start making your way over as well. You can see that there are a few people, probably about 5 or so different individuals up here that you can see. They're all kind of chatting, and once you guys ascend to the top, the chatter kind of ceases, and they just look over to you. And there's this silence for a second, and you guys are used to the stairs, as you've been to stairs, like people staring at you, not stairs climbing up. But people like looking at you, and kind of getting these dodgy looks. So you just get up and kind of stand around, all of you kind of bunched up. Baji starts making his way over. Looking at the 5 individuals before you can see one of them is a human. Average build, has this kind of tossed brown hair and several scars all over his body. His hands are really not proportionate to his body either. They kind of look like they're swollen, they're broken in some parts. You can see when he's like holding his hand normally, like these 3 fingers are out, but these ones just look broken in, and he kind of does this a lot, and you could imagine there's probably a lot of cracking going on. And they're not like grossly large, but they're noticeably larger than the rest of them. You see another individual, this female elf. She's standing very, very upright and has like one foot behind the other, and her hands are placed in front of her. She has these very, very heavy cloth wraps around her hands. She wears this dark brown leather vest and matching pants, and her hair is long on one side but completely shaved on the other. And it kind of just flows down the side and almost like underneath the arm. It's probably a little bit below like mid-chest, like it's pretty far down, but the other side's completely shaved. You see another human man kind of standing off to the side. He has his hair pulled back into this very, very tight ponytail that kind of just sits and hangs down probably about to the middle of his shoulders. It's this very dark black color. He has no shirt on, and these white kind of poofy, almost like MC Hammer type pants that are on, and like a leather belt that is on there as well. Another individual that you see is quite large, probably close to 7.5 feet, Bengarran individual. Doesn't look like Muldrak though. Instead of a tiger, he has much more lion-like features. He has this large golden brown mane that kind of sits on the back of his hair. His shoulders are very broad. He's standing very, very upright. You can see his eyes are this deep brown color and even have like a tinge of gold to them. He has this very eccentric set of armor too. It has these gold plated like kind of gauntlets on the hands. His shoulder pads have these gold plates on them that kind of go out. And this very, very slim flowing maroon cape behind him. And like on the pants there's these little almost like banners that are hanging down of this same maroon color. The last individual you can see is an older man. The only thing that would give away his age though is that he has these facial features that just have this kind of wear to them, like time has just weathered his skin. His hair is white, kind of flows back. He has very, very heavily scarred hands. His physique is extremely muscular. Even in his age, he seems like he's just extremely fit. He's about 6'3", but just because he's so large, it makes him appear as though he's 7 feet tall. You can see his hands are extremely calloused, and he has these large, kind of meaty fists that are just kind of held to the side in like a clenched fist, not as though to be intimidating or anything, just feels natural to him that you can see. His hair, like I said, white and shoulder length, is pushed to the sides of his face. He has this very full white beard. Currently shirtless and slightly sweating from the kind of warm weather, he steps forward in front of the 4 fighters, and now you over to the side. He kind of looks over, and Baji starts walking over towards him. And as he does, the large man kind of gives him a look over towards him, and it's not a look like, hello, it's like a look like, what the hell are you doing here? Baji quickly begins to speak. Hey, Duke, pleasure. What have you been up to, old friend? He kind of looks back. Baji, You know that you're not supposed to set foot here. I respect you enough as a fighter not to put you to shame right now. And then he kind of leans back. You know what you've done for yourself. Hey, come on, Duke. I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to fight. I just have some fresh blood for you. And he kind of points back. You know, we do not just let anyone compete. And as he says that, you can see Baji kind of get a little excited. Yeah, I know, but he's a keeper. He's a keeper. All of them are keepers. And by the looks of them, they can hold their own in a tussle, alright? He goes, and as a keeper, I'm sure they understand the glories of combat. And he kind of starts pointing back and looking at him. Duke takes a minute and kind of sits there and looks over. Starts looking past Baji at all of you and just giving everyone a look over. Kind of makes his way over, looks at Moldrak for a second, and then Finn looks past everyone, kind of stands up a little bit and sees Shadow standing there. Looks over at Ander and then just looks right past him. looks at Connor, past him again. Looks to Orem. What is your name, dwarf?
Orem.
Well, Orem, do you think you have what it takes?
Aye.
Then fall in line and we will see if you can keep up with us. Do that and I will consider it. Baji, I'm only doing this because I respect you. Don't do this ever again. He kind of puts his hand and Baji walks over towards you guys. Alright, let's just kind of hang towards the back and give it a look.
Before we're walking away, I'm just gonna lean over to Oral. Just be like, maybe if you tell them your last name, they just let you right in. That'll come.
And then as you get...
clarification, is Duke's not the Bengarran?
Duke is not the Bengarran. Duke
Okay.
is the large individual.
And then, second question, have I ever seen a Bengarran like that before?
No.
Would you even say that he is a Bengarran?
Definitely.
Okay, but like he's just like a...
Bengarran's pretty much just like a large cat race.
Right,
So
but-
it could be like a panther.
Well, in that
Yeah, like a
sense,
sunrise.
in that sense, has Finn seen anyone like him? Okay.
Most Bengarans you've seen are all... You've probably seen a couple panther-like Bengarans, and you've seen definitely like tiger-like Bengaran for sure. That's like commonly what you saw. Alright. After you get over there next to the other fighters, Orem, you can see Duke walks over, follow me this way, and starts bringing you all down below the platform. And once you get below, what you passed before and can now see is some sort of a fitness relay circuit. There are several different stations that you can see that are set up. You can see one of them is several boards that are placed on two posts. The boards run long ways up and down, and are stacked about 8 or so and nailed in it up and down. Another station has a circle that is probably only about 4 feet wide. And you are kind of unsure exactly what it's there for, but it's there. And you can see that it's obviously a station. You look over to another one and can see a rope that's actually hanging from the center of the platform. So probably about a 15-foot long rope that's, up and down from there. Another one, you can see this large sledgehammer that is placed over to the side, and there are several broken stones along and like around it, and there's just like all these boulders that are stacked up in this large cart. And then the last one you can see appears to be 2 large posts about 12 or so feet tall that are placed very, very deep and solid into the ground. There's these metal hooks that are placed on each post, on each side, and evenly in pairs. Then they start to go up about another like 6 inches, there's another set, and another 6 inches, there's another set, and there's a bar that goes across the whole thing on the posts. Standing there, Duke looks over. Alright. So how this is going to work, all of you know how it works, but Orem, just watch and then do after. Just make sure you can keep up. You watch the large-handed human individual walk over. Brock, you go first. Demonstrate this. He walks over towards the boards that are kind of placed there. They're probably about 6 feet tall at most, but the boards are all descending down to the ground. He stands forward and kind of cracks his knuckles, and now that he's doing it, you hear this like very, very loud, like, it's like grinding. It doesn't even sound like it's just like, and then he starts clenching his fists. He takes three punches towards these boards, just takes a quick... On the first and second one, he goes clean through each of them, and they just snap and kind of splinter off. And then on the bottom one, when he does the last one, he hits two of them with his like large hand, and it doesn't completely break through, but it gives like a little kind of break to it. After that, you can see there are a couple of people over on the sides that have these like squire-like uniforms on that have the symbol of Balta on them, which is like this clenched fist, and then there's like two swords behind it, similar to the ones you guys saw on the paladins of Balta. The squire kind of makes his way over and like has a crowbar and a hammer, slides it into the wood and like jars it out, and then places up another one and nails it in. There's probably about 2 or 3 of them that are going through and doing this process. You watch the kind of large Bengarran individual walk up and just kind of take this very calm and ready stance and just kind of stand there. And then you watch his paws kind of go to like this very, very relaxed sense. He's just very calm and not tense at all. And then gets this very, very strong like flex to his arm when he punches, and then hits, and his paws like so large that it covers almost like 2, maybe 2.5 of the boards, and there's this loud and the board actually comes like clean off, and you watch the post actually kind of like move a little bit, and then he just kind of goes and steps over to the side. They come over and fix the other boards that are there, and all of the 8 that are stacked. You watch the other human man with the ponytail kind of walk up, and you can see that he's just like kind of bouncing around a little bit and moving, and then gets to a point where he's just kind of like tapping the boards, and you can see the boards that are slowly like breaking in. So he's like hitting probably about 5 or so of them, and then after he hits them all like a couple of times, just goes and hits all 5 going down, and they just. And then he steps over to the side. They put all the boards back up. After they put all the boards back up, you watch the elven woman start walking forward. She has her hands kind of placed like this, but lower down. And then you watch her feet kind of like set into the ground, and you watch a little bit of the dirt shift to the sides, and then you watch her foot almost like go up like this. As it goes up, she kind of looks back towards Duke, and Duke kind of gives a smile and then does this. She goes off of the foot, kind of does like a quick rotate, and very gracefully spins up. Her first 2 kicks hit the top board all the way like 6 feet up. Hits the second one with another foot as she's spinning down, and as she's still falling, just kind of hits the top one below the first 2, and then the one under that, and then as she lands down, just does like a quick like chop and slams through the remaining boards, and then just kind of sits and looks up, and then looks over towards you. Gives a bow and then walks over. They all start going through and adjusting all the boards and stuff and getting them all off. They start tacking boards on, and as they're like hitting the boards on, it's like every time the hammer hits, you kind of blink. It's like ding, ding,
sweating a lot right now.
Ding, and you're just kind of looking and trying to be calm and collected, looking around.
I'm next. Now, did anyone look like they're using magic at all, or any type of enhanced abilities?
No.
Yep, you're fucked.
Yikes, mate. Alright, well,
So we swapped his outfit also
perfect
with
Johnny. But, I don't know how to
Fight
well.
that elf.
Yeah.
Don't fight any of them, and act like you did. Fuck.
Just be like, I've seen enough. I'm good.
I was just kidding, guys. I was just kidding.
Alright, we're trying, I guess.
Alright, so go ahead and just roll a d20 and add your either strength or dex, but you're not proficient, so it's just going to be d20 plus your strength or dex, whatever it is.
That's a natural 20.
Never mind, fight when you walk. Shit.
Once you walk forward, it's not like really like it's just natural, like you just naturally like a fighter, you're good with the hammer and shield, and if those go away, you could probably hold your own. So you just kind of walk up and then take like a quick and like punch, and it's kind of close to the board on the side, but it still snaps and falls off. And then you take another punch, and then as you're sitting there kind of hitting into the wood, it's like that first punch like goes through, and then the second one you hit the one underneath, and it doesn't break fully, but it's enough, and then you just punch like 3 boards through, and then kind of look over, and most of the other fighters are just kind of standing there looking. Duke just kind of gives like a little bit of a nod. Alright, on to the next. And he keeps making his way over.
This is like Zaxria Ninja Warrior.
At this point, you can see that almost felt like a little bit of a warm-up. The other fighters begin to go towards other stations. You can see they start going over towards the rope and climbing up. They go over towards the circle that's there, and you can see the elven girl and the elven woman and the man with the ponytail make their way over. The only individual's name that you've heard is Brock. He's the guy with like the bigger kind of meaty hands. Brock makes his way over towards this that bar that's across those two posts and starts like doing a pull-up, and then throws it up to the next one, and then goes and does another one, and then throws it up to the next set. And you can see once he gets towards the third one, starts like kind of heading down. There's probably about 6 or so actual hooks that are on there, but he goes probably about halfway up and keeps like doing that, and then takes a break in between and kind of stretches and relaxes, and then goes back up and does it again. You watch the Bengarran individual walk over towards the rope and just start, goes all the way up to the top. Once he gets to the top, you can see him actually pull himself up and then descend down very, very slowly. Over on that like kind of small circle where the elven woman and the guy with the ponytail are sitting, they stand within the circle, and you can see Duke kind of standing there looking at them, just observing. The second they both kind of do like a little bit of a bow towards each other, they start doing everything they can to get the other one out of the circle that's placed there. You watch her kind of take a kick over, and he like catches the foot as best he can, but slides just a little too far and gets out. And then they just kind of like look at each other and nod. And then sitting there, like he looks like he's about to get ready this time and try to do something. And as he does, he just goes to do like this quick shove, and she just like smacks his hands to the side, and he rolls out of the circle and rolls over to the side. He goes and takes a seat, and then she's just kind of still standing there. You standing over by this small little spot where there are boulders in this cart, and then you watch the squires walk over, and each of them, probably about 3 of them, each of them grabs a boulder, sets it down in front of you, and then the sledgehammer that's just kind of sitting, towards the side. Duke just kind of staring over at you.
Alright. About the Super Mario Bros. Starhammer this year right now.
So just go ahead and make 3 attacks.
Is he proficient?
14.
You're proficient, so you can add your strength and attacks.
22.
Okay.
And 18.
14, 22, 18. Alright. So the first one makes contact, like solid contact with it, but doesn't fully like crack and break. There's just like chunk that kind of breaks off of it. The second one, once you get like a momentum, you swing down, because you're used to swinging, like one-handed, so even though you have like this strength, there's not as much technique. But once you swing and then get to this next ones, they just split and kind of crack in half and break. Squire walks over, replaces the 2 broken ones, and then shifts the chunked one over to the side, and then puts another one down in front of you. Go ahead and make 3 more.
We're good. Sorry, Jerry.
Now he has 1 incomplete set.
That's an 11. That's also an 11. Thanks. That's a 25.
Alright, so the first 2, you take a swing, and take another swing, and then your arms feel kind of tired because the sledgehammer is pretty heavy, and you're swinging down, but it's not like super heavy where you're exhausted. You're just feeling some weakness to your muscles. You look over after hitting the second one and kind of slow down for a little bit, and then Duke just kind of like looking and then goes to look away. Take the sledgehammer and just slam it through, and then the actual boulder itself just like splinters and breaks apart. And then he like kind of shifts his head over and looks before. You sit there for a little while, still doing the same thing, like breaking through, and it's definitely a workout. You can feel it through your whole body, especially like in your back and the back of your arms and your shoulders. But after you do it for a second, you hear Duke kind of shout out, "All right, rotate!" And then everybody starts kind of moving around. At this point, you make your way over to those large posts that have the hooks hanging from them.
Is he in his armor?
I'd imagine you're probably not. Yeah.
Fuck no.
I was about to say, there's no fucking way you get one of those.
I mean, yeah, if you want, you can put it in the bag of holding, but just so you don't have to lug it around or leave it in the tavern,
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Even if it wasn't in there, Moldrax put
you
it
guys
in
can.
go back to like wearing it.
Get in there.
He definitely went through everybody's room was like,
Orb's pretty stout, How tall about do you think?
5 feet.
Yeah,
Exactly,
just 5 foot even, but it's just like this like square shape, you know. You have, some definite definition to your muscles.
Absolutely.
There's a little bit of a belly probably, I'd
Yeah.
imagine, and then but there's definitely like a broad chest, broad shoulders. He's just a pretty stout individual. So like seeing him in his tunic sometimes, he's got a little chest hair going on. He's just kind of sitting here, sweating a little bit from doing this. You guys are just kind of over to the side watching. Every now and then you guys get like a drink in your direction or, find something.
Play breakfast food on the bag, I think.
Yeah, from the tavern.
I'll wander off.
You wander off? Okay.
Some like shady areas or whatever.
Okay. Are you trying to just like sneak away or are you just walking away? Okay.
We don't notice anyway.
Alrighty. As you're sitting here, you can see everyone just kind of rotates around and goes to a different station. The way everyone starts rotating, you're just kind of looking and following along with that. You find your way to the large post and the hook hanging off of the bar that's there. The first bar is probably only like 4 or 5 feet off the ground, so once you grab it, you do have to like pull up and then kind of really throw it up. It's about 6 feet or so it's a little bit of a jump there. So whenever you're ready, make an athletics check.
You gotta at least beat that last guy.
3?
Oh, I thought it's strength.
I could get all 6, go back down and
If
go back
anybody
up.
wants to grab food, go for it.
Really? Damn, you're a beast.
It's a 14.
14? 14. Once you do that first kind of pull up,
Do like half.
and then try to get used to what it is, the bar kind of clanks, and you don't really fall, but the bar catches, and then you just kind of let go and get to your feet, and then kind of sit there and look back up at it again, and then try to think of how you're going to throw the bar up by making that athletics check again.
That's an 8.
This time your arm's still kind of sore from the sledgehammer you take, and do like half a pull up and then go to try to throw it up, and then once you throw it up it actually falls and you kind of hit like on your ass. You don't fall completely on your back, just kind of on your tailbone, and then catch yourself and then reach up and put the bar back on.
Can I try to sneak and accelerate on his muscles?
On his muscles?
Yeah.
I'll let you roll 2 checks and then take the better. Go ahead. Use the time dice.
But I'm trying to do it discreetly.
That's going to be a 24, sir. Thank you.
Alright. This time taking the... You can see your arms are a little like sore and you can feel this tension. Finn kind of makes his way over and he's just kind of standing there. You look around. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check too.
Okay, so, hold on 1 second. That is... So... That's 12 if this passes. Sleight of hand.
Well, you do it no matter what. But.
Right, I mean, 12, and let's see if I can sneak it. Where's a good d20? Okay. Sad. That's a 10.
For the sleight of hand?
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna re-roll it.
Make sure you use your time dice.
Yeah. Better? That was a little better, so that's like a 14, but...
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, should I re-roll it again? I don't want to get caught in the whole operation.
Let's just see what it
Yeah.
Alright.
14.
So, sitting there, you walk over towards Orem, kind of with the staff, just very looking very natural, just kind of looking at what he's doing. Taking click a couple of dials really fast, and then sand goes underneath, and as opposed to normally when you just send it directly there, you actually manipulate the sand and just have it kind of go down the staff, and then across the ground, and then back up over towards him. About halfway there, it starts getting this brighter color to it and turning into that white energy, and then you watch Duke kind of standing there, looks over in that direction, and then you just stop the sand where it is, and it's just kind of sitting there, and you're just and then you're looking out of the corner of your eye, and the second he looks away, you send the sand up towards Orem, and then it hits. You feel this energy surge through the back of your triceps and through your shoulders, and then as you're up there, you take one pull up, ding, and then hit up onto the next hook. Do another one, ding, up to the third. You can try and do another one if you want.
Do it!
Athletics check.
Beat the other guy!
Hold on one moment. I think I have
can't go get his own pizza.
I didn't think about it until I saw it.
He's like,
I
shit.
ain't either.
Jerry walked over here and I was like, shit, I'm hungry. Hold on.
You got 90 seconds. That's amazing.
Alright, hold on. Okay, so, because of the I took, I actually have advantage on my athletics checks.
Like Brawny?
It's like the dwarven
Yeah, okay.
Well, first roll better. So that's going to be a 13.
13? You try to get up towards the fourth one, but can actually feel yourself not able to do it, so you just start kind of dropping down a little bit. You're able to, with that check, like go down one more
Without falling?
without falling, so go ahead and make one more athletics check.
23.
23. With that, you kind of tink onto the last two, and then like stretch, and after the accelerate kind of wears off, you're like, oh wow, my arms are dead. Like you could feel it all the way through, like your forearm. It's just like this one soreness that goes up and then just radiates outward. So you're just kind of sitting there. You can feel yourself like stretching and doing this every now and then. Rotate. Everyone starts kind of moving around, and you can see where you'd imagine everyone's like kind of slowing down. Everyone's like moving to the next one to go through. After that, you make your way back over towards where the boards are, but you're just kind of like relaxing there for a second, and then you start walking over towards where the circle is. You can see the large Bengarran individual is standing in there. You kind of walk up and over towards him, and you're kind of looking around. You're trying not to look like, is this right?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be here?
He's gonna eat me.
2 feet taller than you. Kind of looks like if two of you were stacked on each other. Like he's just standing there,
Two arms
kind of
and
looking down. Just kind of does like a.
It's Torm and Torm.
He kind of gets down on a knee as you're in the circle. Still a little bit taller than you, like not taller, but he's just got like this largeness to him. Hello, dwarf. He kind of takes the paw out.
Whoa!
His name is Yoldguard.
Yoldguard?
Yoldguard. Yes. Then stands up. Good luck.
I'm not.
Alright, so, as you're standing here, he kind of looks down and you're just kind of like, alright, what do we do? He leans down again. I should have explained. The way this is going to work is that one of us will try to get the other out of the circle first, and then we go back and forth. First one to do it successfully 2 times is the victor.
Okay. I think I have a plan for this. But
Understand?
understand.
Alright. Do you want to go first or me?
You can go first.
Alright. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
Alright. Is this to be grappled?
No.
Alright. So I have advantage. That's a solid 5, my guy.
Alright. The second he leans back and goes, understand? And he's like, are you ready? You say, yeah. He just takes his foot and kicks you square in the chest. You fall and like slide against the dirt, and everybody as that happens like looks over all at once, and then you're like, you stand up.
Broken rib.
Stand up and look over, and he kind of has like this grin. You can see his large kind of cat-like teeth, and he just kind of gives a smile. Shrug them.
Alright. Orm's looks calm, but he's dying on the inside.
Yeah, broken ribs.
I'm going to attempt to...
Broken ribs, broken arms. He's just
What do you want to do exactly? Like he's just kind of standing there. He doesn't.
So he's wearing armor?
He has on some sort of armor. It's just like these golden shoulder pads and the golden.
Can I just attack him?
Just like punch him?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. One roll attack.
Just knocks him out with
Just
one
plus your
hit.
strength.
19 naturally.
19 naturally?
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't hit. So it's 1 plus your strength.
Okay.
Drag him out.
So it's 1
1 plus your strength.
a 6.
Yeah.
Plus a D8, because now I'm level 8. I can do force damage with my attacks.
Alright.
I have to push people 10 feet out with a fucking force attack. So I'm fucking...
Alright.
Yeah,
I was made for this shit.
4. So it's 6 total.
Alright, good
Or
start.
10 total, I'm sorry.
As you are standing there and he's just kind of standing upright, You do like a little bit of a jump up and then hit towards his stomach. And you do it like he goes to just like put his hands there and block it like this, but it hits so much, like the fist connects, and then there's like this force of energy that comes behind it, and it doesn't look like unnatural, so they don't like shy away from it or anything. It's just like, and this force flies behind it. He standing there like doesn't like fly away, but like slides a whole like 10 or so feet, and then catches his foot, and then looks over. Very good. And then runs back over into the circle and stands there. Now you can see that he's not like completely just like lax and standing there. He's now like actually focused and down. Go ahead and make a dexterity save again.
God, these are my worst saves. I have 0.
But you're not wearing armor.
That's an 18.
18. All right.
These are my worst saves.
With that, you watch as he like ducks down and does this very quick sweeping like kick towards you, and you almost want to instinctually like go back, but you jump up instead. And as you do that, he goes to take like a backhand towards you, and you just kind of duck just a little bit, barely enough, because he just can't.
He's like squeezing.
So you just kind of like perfect size, and he's like, and you're just barely out of the way. It wasn't like
sideways.
and it wasn't like super graceful either. It was just like, oh, shit. And he just kind of like bunched
Like I cannonball at some point.
yeah, and then he's kind of laying back down, and then he's looking back over towards you, and it's just kind of like, your move.
All right. Second verse, same as the first.
You just gonna just punch him?
Yeah. Ooh, yikes.
Reroll.
Let me reroll it?
Uh-huh.
Alright. That's better. This will be a 23.
Alright.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm not proficient with my fist, right?
No, it's just
Just 20 then.
20? Okay. As you take the first, like, swing towards him, it almost looks like you're fainting, but you're like, trying to fake him out. You take this swing, and then your arm kind of, like, and you swing around with the other one and punch him like on the side, like near his, just above his hip on the left. So the first one's like, he takes back, and then you swing over, and him looking at it is like, what the hell? And then the second it hits, are you doing the same like center
Yes.
push? Yeah. He like kind of picks up and goes to the side. It actually like takes him up off his feet, and you watch one of his, like the back of his foot starts sliding out, and he goes to like almost like flip and land back in the circle, but is just unable to do it. Just kind of like falls on his side and slides away,
Hell yeah.
and then kind of gets up. We're worthy.
I extend my hand to shake it.
Yeah. He takes his out and kind of grabs like almost up towards like under your armpit with his arm, and just kind of gives like a shake. I'm looking forward to fighting you.
Same.
He kind of walks away.
Orm sits down for a minute because he needs a breather.
Pull out his inhaler.
Just like a bag.
He's a rich boy.
Yeah. It's like a steampunk inhaler.
Alright, after that, you look over and can see everybody just kind of a little slower now, just like walking over towards the next thing. That large rope hanging from the center, you kind of make your way over to it and hands on your side, like look up, and it just looks taller than it was when you first saw it. Like you're looking like, oh shit, yeah, it's a lot taller.
How many points in the dex next level? Fuck.
Alright, so, this is going to be athletics as well, yes.
The guy with 11 responses really should participate.
It's going to be a 16.
Alright. You get up about halfway. It's a good 7.5 feet of just climbing. And then once you get up there, your arms are very close, so it's not like these long like grabs and then trying to pull up. You're very using your feet a little bit too. Once you get about halfway, you can start feeling like a little tired. So you can either try to keep going up or just go right back down.
Fuck, we're going up again, boys.
Alright, go ahead and make another athletics check.
Go for it.
Fuck you, that was a 19. That's 18.
Alright. With that,
19 to 3.
you start climbing and get about 3/4 of the way up now fully, and can feel that you're actually like tired in the muscles. So you're going to be at a disadvantage, but it'll just be one roll because of your advantage. So you can either keep going all the way up.
Would theoretically, with the next roll, like moving to the top?
Yeah, you can imagine.
Go for it.
I would go for
We're
it.
cheering you
I
on.
don't want to use these ones as well. Alright, fucking
that rope right off the
Ooh, that's 19.
Alright. As you are about 3/4 of the way up, you kind of just like start climbing up, like just pushing through and forcing. You can feel the strain in your muscles, and then once you get up to the top, you kind of like take your elbow and like smack the platform beneath, and then just start like letting gravity do most of the work on the way down, but you take your time and get all the way to the bottom, and then kind of plant down. Everyone gathers around that center part underneath. You guys kind of over towards the side. Alright, very good training for today. Hold on, we will see you tomorrow for the tournament. For the rest of you, keep up and train a little more. Autumn, you as well, keep up. Tomorrow is, although it is just fighting, you want to be ready for it. Condition yourself, rest well. We'll see you first thing tomorrow. The tournament is held here, so you know where to go. It's just a matter of being here on time. So
What time does it start?
the second the sun comes up is when I want you to be here. The tournament starts about noon tomorrow. Understood? Good. The strong stand tall. He takes a nod and they all at the same time. The strong stand tall. And they all kind of walk away and spread out on their own. A couple of them are like kind of together and like heading towards the tavern, like talking and, you know, bantering back and forth. Shadow, as for you, making your way out of the just kind of group, I guess, and heading over towards some part of the city. You looking for anything in particular?
Shady stuff.
Shady stuff.
I'm looking for shady stuff.
Go ahead and make
Y'all got any elves down here?
There's a particularly
Perception
nice
check.
tree with some shade.
Taking out the trash at night.
RP piece.
10.
Some awnings.
Around this time of day, there's really not much shade going on. So a lot of people are doing a lot of normal business around. You can see that some of the vendors are just a little shady, not in the sense that they're doing anything illegal, more that their wares are not really what they're selling them to be. A lot of them have very, very cheap and used and kind of broken down items that they're trying to get rid of
It's like
at much higher
Gibraltar.
prices than they should. But yeah, it's like a flea market anyway, where they're trying to get rid of all this stuff and sell it at these higher rates that they shouldn't be. But you know, you just that's about the most shade that's going on in this time of day.
There's some shoes that say janky.
Everything's off-brand.
Let's go with Gucci.
Gucci with 3 C's. Gucci.
Alright. At this point, for the rest of you, you guys can do whatever you want right now. Including your if you want to just go
Finding medieval Advil, like right now.
Are they,
Probably some icy hot packets too.
is this training area just kind of empty right now? I'm going through it.
Hell yeah.
I also go through it.
Alright.
Also, I informed Moldrick about the name of the Bengarran.
One of them I may need help with.
What's his
Which
name?
was? Somebody's gonna have to pick
I don't say it's Hajal. Yoldguard.
I'm gonna seek out Connor. I don't know if we're around each other.
You guys come closer to the
Yep. So, I'm a bad D&D player, and I forgot about feats, and I forgot about adding my points to my sheet. So I chose to do Prodigy.
Prodigy?
Prodigy! Anyway, yeah, so
English is a hard language.
I'm going to take note of the things that happened with Tenebrous and how I couldn't read the scroll. So I'm going to make myself do good at the Arcana.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I'm going to approach Connor. I'm going to be like, hey, so remember when we were fighting that giant eyeball monster and I couldn't really help you read that scroll? I want to do it, so can I borrow like a book or two?
They're all in the bag of holding.
I brought Connor's personal book.
I don't think I have any books that are Arcana based besides one.
I just want to get good at it.
I do.
I have one of your books still.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Well,
one
you
with
choose your
Joe.
language in duel.
haven't decided
He
yet.
also had that book.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he brought it. I don't think I have anything.
Okay, can you teach me?
Make me do the magics.
Sort of.
Make me a magic man.
I mean, I do have my own like kind of journal book type thing. I'll take that out. And yeah, we're just drawing like arcane runes in it.
Alright. Not familiar with the prodigy. Probably.
Prodigy.
Go ahead.
Yep. So I wrote it down.
He gains proficiency in
it's
one
out of his book,
skill.
right.
It's in this one.
So one skill proficiency of your choice, one tool proficiency, one new language, one expertise,
Oh, no shit. Oh, boy.
and that's
It's safe,
that's new from Xanthar, right?
Yeah.
It's on the page.
So that's a human. What is it? Human or
All half. It's all the humans.
Half elf. It's all, yeah, half elf, half orc, or human.
yeah.
Alright, cool.
Yep. So I'm going to choose.
Alright, so the skill you're choosing proficiency in is Arcana, right? And then a tool of your choice. That can be like instrument. Hold on, there's a whole thing of tools. Are they actually in the player handbook? Like blacksmithing, carpenters, like cobbler.
I can take a look. Those aren't as
Yeah.
important.
Fishing.
I was just
Fishing.
I feel like he's
Yeah.
technically already proficient
But-
on that one.
expertise. I'm actually going to do it in Arcana as well. I'm not saying it has to happen from what I learned from Connor, per se. Just like I'll continue on my knowledge to have expertise in Arcana. I'm just so worried about not being prepared for another catastrophe that I want to, learn as much magic as I can, even if
Okay.
it's outside of.
So learning
things
Arcana
now.
and then proficiency in it. And then a language.
So, because I already have.
What would you realistically learn on your travels from the start to now?
I was thinking Dwarven, but like.
I would teach you Dwarven. Like if like.
Well, I'm saying that's how I would learn it.
Right, that's
but
fair, yeah.
I mean, because I know Bengarran, Common, and Elvish,
Oh, fair.
so I'm pretty well versed already. Probably the only thing I would.
Dwarven?
Yeah. Honestly, like because it's
Yeah.
not like I'm gonna be hanging out with orcs. We took them all out.
Oh yeah, genocide. That was part of our.
Jesus. Very true.
Yeah.
We did that.
No, we did that cute thing with the camps. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Whoa, what?
Whoops. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead. So I'm going to be learning extended magic from Connor from the time being. I'm going to start now, but obviously it's not going to be in one day. And then I'm going to have Orem teach me Dwarven.
Okay. So I'd say like put those on there as your proficiency and like expertise for Arcana.
I have it marked. I
Yeah.
just like have to redo my sheet.
And then like look over whatever tool. There's tools in the player's handbook, and then there's there's not actual ones in there, but there's like descriptions of them in the.
I do probably believe that while we were doing our classes, like we were taught like the basics of Arcana and everything like that. So I'll probably just start with things around that.
Okay.
Like
refresher.
yeah,
Gotcha.
probably so it helps him understand where we go from it.
Got it. That makes sense.
Okay.
When I leveled up, my intelligence grew a little bit. I'm a little bit smarter than before.
Okay. Alright. What are you at then?
17.
Oh,
It's
what's
still
your,
pushing.
It's your charisma?
Yes.
Yeah, charisma.
But I feel like, I read a lot.
Yeah.
Try to
That
retain
makes a lot of sense.
try to retain what I learned.
Makes a lot of sense. And then you took Sentinel, right?
Yes. I have a description from him as well.
Alright, for the two of you, what are you guys going up to first?
He doesn't want the smoke in the pit, but
Okay, do the circle first.
Want to go into the pit?
Do the circle first, guys.
really make sure.
Hey, sorry to bring it back. I'll probably do the navigation tools.
Navigation tools? Okay. Double check in your sailor background to make sure that you don't already have proficiency with it.
I think you do actually as a.
Or wait, isn't that your background sailor? Yeah, double check it in
Or
the
pirate,
serial.
really. Or no, I picked sailor, not pirate. Is this in Xanthar or is it in...
Player handbook. Yeah, looking up background. Shop's a guru of things to find, so I'll leave it pirate.
Page 125.
And so is Shanny apparently.
No, I looked at it.
Alright. What do you guys want to do first?
I'm gonna go up to the
York.
the pole bar one.
Obviously, instantly flipped to the page.
No problem.
Savage.
Kevin, you are.
So
Alright, I already do. Okay.
So just find another tool, I guess. Alright,
So
go
proficient
ahead and make
water
an athletics check.
If you don't do this all the way up and then come down, I'm gonna be disappointed.
30.
30. Aldrich walks over to the posts that are there with the hooks, takes the bar. You kind of like, on the first one, it's probably like mid-chest, so you just kind of take it off that one and put it on the one above it, and then start kind of do like a pull-up on the top, and then another one, and then tink, 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 and then just go right back up.
You do it twice?
That's not a requirement.
doing it
You only got to do
with
one,
his
so you start getting a little tired, like coming down, but nonetheless, like.
Weaver's tools.
Weaver's tools.
Yep. So I'm going. If anyone's clothes rip, I'm gonna sew it.
Alright,
You get a seamstress in the party now?
Lift me up, I'm
I
doing
left
it.
hander up to the bar.
Like a little kid doing the monkey bars.
Make just an athletics check. I'll just let you get the benefit of that thing.
You got this. Natural 20.
I suck at everything.
10.
10?
I got +5. I can't
He's
even.
holding you. You fail.
And then you're just. Alright.
You weigh as much as the bar?
Bar probably weighs more.
Do you want down?
Yeah, just help me down.
Okay.
I hurt.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
What? Wow.
You try the rope next.
Look at the rope. He's actually pretty good at it. You know, the ship, climbing.
Why not?
Autumn, you go first this time.
It's a race.
I'll let you do it with advantage.
There you go.
What do I roll? Athletics.
With advantage.
Does it help? 24.
Hell yeah, dude.
Andrew doesn't really climb with like strength when he does this. There's like technique behind it. Like he's grabbing, like he puts his hands up and then pushes with his feet to get him up to where his hands are. And a lot of the strength coming from like his core and his legs. They just kind of gets up about halfway. You want to go back down?
Does he look like a little spider monkey?
Keep going.
Alright, I'm gonna pee. There's someone in there the last time.
There we go. This time, go all the way up. Probably about a little more than 3/4 of the way up. You can start feeling yourself getting tired. Slow down a little bit. And then realize that you're like 14 feet off the ground.
Which doesn't seem too bad, but
And then you start.
It's like 7
You
times.
feel
you're afraid of
horrible.
heights and you're only 2 foot tall. It's quite
You're afraid
scary.
of heights? Would you use a jump spell?
You know,
He used it for distance.
I didn't figure out I was afraid of heights till we started flying, okay? Look, shit.
It's a new acquirement.
Yeah. Going back down.
Are you good up there?
I definitely sat there for a good 5 seconds, nervous
The
about.
bottom of the rope was like. But he makes his way down. And then.
That was good. Good job.
I could have made it all the way to the top.
I
That
know
was
you
no, that was high.
That's pretty
though.
high.
That was high.
Yeah.
Alright. For my first trip, I don't know if there's any like gangs or anything around this area.
You do know that the League of Coin on occasion will have people that like come here, but like within this city, it's pretty well monitored and guarded and stuff like that. So there's not really a lot of mischievous activity that goes around here. So I'm doing too much good stuff. He's not.
His karma level's too high.
But like, not too much now.
I got 26.
26. You pull up towards the, not even really like using your legs, it's just all upper body. You just start grabbing and pulling yourself up. Get about halfway. Keep going.
Yeah. Higher, 27.
120.
Jeez.
Then you start pulling up, get all the way up, a little more than 3/4, and don't even really feel tired. I'll make one more shot.
Lower, but still a 19.
Okay. With that, you get up towards the top. You can feel yourself getting pretty tired, but you get up towards the top, kind of sit there for a second and look down, and it's pretty high up. Then do like a quick, and then make your way down.
What else was there?
There is that board, those posts that have the boards across them, the circle, and then the sledgehammer with all the boulders.
I wanted to do the sledgehammer.
Okay. Can I walk over, look over at the boulder, grab the boulder, set it down, grab the sledgehammer, which is about 3.5, 4 feet.
Like maybe smaller than a maul, or would my maul proficiency work, or my?
Oh yeah, it would.
Okay. All right. I'm going for it.
Go for
Smashing
it.
all those rocks.
So 3 attacks.
16, 25, and 17.
Alright. The first one you hit, and it kind of snaps and breaks. It doesn't like fully like or anything, but it breaks enough. The second one you just go through, and it does the same thing where it just splinters and all these like shards of rock. You feel it like kind of hit against you too, and it hurts a little bit, but you just push through and then slap down on the other one, and that one kind of breaks off and crumbles a little bit. Do it a couple more times. Kind of. You trying?
Yes.
Okay. Just make an attack with this.
I'm gonna try and sneakily cast Bull Strength on him.
Okay.
Just like while he goes to pick up the hammer, I'm like, you got this, you got this.
Do a quick 2 push-ups.
17.
Forehand.
Push up, you kind of get up. Jack walks over.
They don't have a smaller. I'm just gonna help.
I'll just let you roll it just straight. But you don't have proficiency, so.
It's a strength, right? I can't. Somehow dex it. That's a 12, dude. Oh shit!
You're pretty much dragging the hammer. It's really big. It's like a good foot bigger than you. So you grab it and then give like a squeeze, and then you feel your elbow like kind of pushing into your side as you're trying to pick it up. So you just kind of and swing, and it falls forward, and just the momentum like hits the rock, and there's like a little.
I didn't even think I was gonna pick it up! Woo!
I did not eat.
Woo! I'm ready for the next thing. What's next? What's next?
2 more rocks. Or we can go punch the boards if you want.
Let's go punch some boards.
You want to go first on this one? You're looking pretty strong with that hammer.
Okay then, I will. I will.
One board at his level.
Yeah. You gotta jump to punch the main attack.
Is it a strength? Or can I use
Strength or dex.
Here we go. Obviously, I still roll a 10, so why wouldn't I?
What?
Just normal.
Just dex.
Just
Okay.
plus dex.
15.
And you kind of punch and hit out forward, and it makes contact with the board pretty good, but you can feel your hand kind of like, ooh, that hurt. Hits, and there's like a little bit of like bend and give to it. It doesn't like break or anything.
I gotta break at least. I'm hitting it again. I gotta break at least one board.
Go ahead.
I'm not breaking a board. That's
Oh
a
my.
9.
So the first one you like, and then hit one more time, and then go to punch again, and throw into it, and then it's just like,
This stuff's a lot harder than it looked. I'm gonna be honest.
Even I'm a little tired.
Go ahead and roll an attack. Add your strength. Natural 1? Yes. Oh, yes. Alright. So as you take your hand and you just swing and punch into it, the second your hand like connects with the board, you just feel like you punched it wrong, and you can feel your wrist kind of crumple, and there's like a kind of snap, and you instantly
That's not good. That's not
grab
good.
at your wrist, and something definitely feels broken.
Alright. We're good. We're done.
You didn't even crack the. You don't want to give it another go?
I kick it.
Roll another attack.
Natural.
Breaks his foot.
22.
So as you do that, he's like, you didn't even break it. You just kick and then like sideways, like kick through two of them, and then it just kind of like snaps.
There, I broke it. Let's go.
Why do you even use your feet?
I'm good.
Really your hands.
Let's go.
I don't understand why you just.
Let's go. It's
why don't
fine.
you just kick stuff?
We're good.
Can you pick them all up with your feet?
We're
You might
done.
want to do that.
Are they by themselves?
Do you need to see something about that, by the way?
Nothing's wrong.
Are you sure?
Yep. Sure.
You're not even talking normally. I'm thinking there's something wrong here.
Nothing is wrong.
Alright, fair enough. You want to go do the circle thing?
Yes, I do.
He's gonna beat me with one fucking arm.
Let's go.
No. Alright, so you guys walk over towards the circle. Moldrak is in definite pain.
The only chance I have to beat it.
Alright, how long does that bull strike last?
A minute? I think it's concentration. I don't know if breaking my wrist
that would break
is
it.
concentration.
Yeah, we're gonna see this.
So as you're sitting there holding your wrist, the two of you looking at each other, who wants to do what? Go first.
I'm just gonna try and kick him out of there.
Just roll an attack. Punk.
7.
7. And it goes to lift his foot up, and you just kind of like roll.
That's what the best you got?
It's
I
your
thought you were
turn
just going to
now.
knock me out.
Your turn now.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm just standing there.
I'm going to jump and try and kick him in his stomach because I'm not reaching his chest. 2 legs. Full force kick to his stomach.
I really hope you come by.
Just full body fucking kick.
What's your dex or strength?
Oh, Dex. Home Dex.
21!
Hits.
Yes. Instead of getting to his stomach, you actually hit right in his genitals. You get up and just kind of and then steps out of the circle. I'm done for the day! You're holding your wrist, keel over, talking through your nose.
Is there a bed in town we can
Did I not kick you in the stomach?
Nobody else.
Thank you, Billy. I appreciate it.
You okay?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Leave me alone.
You just fixed him.
We gotta give him a cone
You
down
want me
here.
to get
We
some
need to
ice?
open the wounds.
I can get some ice.
No, I'm good.
You want to get Skip?
No, he might be able to help, but I don't know.
Okay,
I'll meet
Sorry?
you back at the tavern.
do I win?
Yeah, you win. You're the strongest member of the team now.
I thought we were just having fun. I didn't know that's what was on the lot. I'm the strongest member of the team now.
We should probably be the one in the tournament.
Or I would have had to fight Orum, and I wasn't doing that. Strongest member, but not fighting.
This point, you two are making your way back towards the tavern. Moldrak, like, healed over and nursing his wrist at the same time. Yeah, that definitely needs some attention. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
His wrist or his dick? Which one?
Both.
Alright, am I in this tavern they're walking into?
Yes.
I walk up, and I'm like, Where were you guys at?
Hank, just doing some training.
Yeah.
Hey, is your wrist? And then I grab my staff and go, and the sand quickly goes up his wrist and snaps it back into place.
Oh no! Walking in, you're obviously in distress as you're like reaching over.
That's 12 healing, but the intent was to.
Standing there like looking, and then
Feel better?
no. Did you just break his
Yeah, but
wrist? He was okay. We were fine.
No, it was.
We were
broken.
okay.
Should feel. I mean, like it's gonna hurt because I snapped it back into place, but
I use my healing ability, not to like healing, but just kind of soothe that area.
It helps. It definitely feels better once it's snapped, but you can tell like when you were doing that, it pops every time.
well, you gotta like. I wouldn't move it. You know what you're doing, buddy. And I poke him with my stick and I walk away.
You know that the circle thing?
Yeah. What's up?
Beat him.
Bullshit.
He's
Under
the
110.
strongest member now.
What do you do?
That's how
What do you
it
do? When we start doing that,
I miss. I try to kick him in the
He was aiming
stomach.
for my stomach, but he didn't jump very high.
I'm only two. I can only jump like a foot.
It was fair.
Not even.
It was fair and square.
spade and neuter, and then Finn winks at the camera and walks away.
Takes the Deadpool over. All right.
Finn's drinking.
out of my bag.
All right. So stop eating the food out of your bag.
I'm guessing.
It's not
guessing we're at the tavern.
Yes.
So
It tastes good.
Connor's just gonna be up in his room, reading his book.
All right.
As he wrote down some stuff for him to study.
Got it.
I'm reading my book in the corner of the
making a study
tavern.
I look for Orem.
And he's just gonna be focusing
Orem?
on
I don't know.
On which something specifically?
Yes.
All right.
just a cantrip. Moontar's Light.
Okay.
Is there like a spa-esque place in this town?
What?
A spa-esque place?
Go ahead and make an investigation.
The spas back in Yoldguard are the best.
Really 7.
7? You find yourself like walking around the street, trying to make your way back towards the tavern and just kind of looking around at the surroundings. There are a couple of people who offer you some help in resting every now and then, and it seems natural. Like it seems like there are just these people walking around. Very promiscuously dressed women all over the place.
Oh, not that type of fucking...
Yeah. But other than that does seem like a
You make you relax.
Let's see what
Need help with your bath?
I probably just back to the tavern.
Yeah.
I
Bless you.
He's like kissing his like religious pendant and like looking away.
Like, Lord, oh Lord.
I'll give you more than what I have seen. Oh boy. Making your way into the tavern, you can see down there Ander, Muldrak, and Finn. Shadow's just kind of in a corner. You don't really even notice him. But everybody is within the tavern or within their room in the tavern doing, whatever.
I'm gonna walk up to Orem and I'm gonna say, "How are you feeling, buddy?" But in very broken Dwarven because I'm trying to learn.
I feel old.
You're in common. You're cold?
Old. You're cold. I feel old.
Oh. I'm learning. Do you want some ale?
Not too much.
Okay, I got you.
Oh. Tinkered.
Just pull that out of the.
That was Baji's. He forgot to grab it.
Hey.
There's still ale in it.
Hope there isn't backwash.
Actually, I think it's whiskey.
I would pass on that, but I would.
I'll get you a fresh one. Okay.
Does your hand hurt?
No.
Mine's really
I'm pretty sure Moldrak really hurt his wrist. But
It's-
my hand, I punched that.
I'm gonna
piece of wood.
investigate his wrist.
Make a medicine check.
Whoa, buddy. Get to dinner first.
Fucking wrist.
Fucking wrist.
That's a 16.
Just kind of walks over, sees you kind of bent over, look at him, grab it, and pull it over towards you. You see these guys when you do that initially.
I cast lesser restoration on it.
It looks a little like purple around the wrist, and like his
Some
fingers
swelling.
look a little swollen too. So once you kind of grab it, and then there's like this little bit of warm light that comes from his necklace, and then in his hand it radiates through, and you can feel this very, very cooling like sensation that goes to like a little bit of a warm. And
Icy
you start
hot.
to feel like your fingers come back, and there's the pain's really not there anymore. It's just more of like a sore, but still every time you do this, your wrist pops.
I guess it's forehead afterwards.
Sweet prince.
Wonderful experience.
Oh, that's great. All right. So within the tavern, like I said before, in this tavern, there's really not much music that goes on. It just seems like a very, almost like
Some bagpipes?
relaxed
Bagpipes.
setting. Not a lot of rambunctiousness goes on besides like the occasional brawl that would have happened, before when you guys were in here the first time. But you find your way to a seat, kind of sit and relax. Get some food brought to you, some drinks are brought around to whoever wants them. Orm kind of takes it easy because he's got, big stuff to do in the morning. Skip's just kind of
So I
sitting
am
there.
staying hella hydrated though, so I'm drinking a lot of water.
Hey,
Got it.
Do you guys see? Duke looked at me like he was gonna pick me for a second
did.
there. He was.
Dude,
He was like.
you're too strong.
I really thought I was for sure he was picking me.
I think you looked at you the longest.
He did.
Yeah.
You
Might
want to
have
go
been-
instead?
Might have been how I was standing.
You could go instead of him.
He picked you, not me.
Yeah,
It was probably close though for him. I think so.
Oh yeah, so do we know if we're going to your house or your house? If we're gonna do that.
I think it's my house. But it's not actually my house, it's just the jungle.
What if?
I don't live there.
Alright.
No one knows anything about my house anymore.
That's true.
I don't have a house.
I was born in the shadows.
Shit.
You already adopted them.
That word-
Damn it,
that
Tom
like
Hardy.
the shadow than Bane.
Like a mask.
Alright. Now,
This is not darn sense. It's been on my running mix since 2004.
Bro, what the fuck?
It's just like a web that somebody.
it's so dumb. It's so stupid. Alright, so. Wow.
Alright, so I'm actually gonna take myself, if there is time, to the training ground to practice some spells I have not actually been able to use yet.
Yeah, you definitely roll time. True. It's getting
Speaking
a
of Darude's stance one.
it's getting a little darker, but there are lights that are throughout the actual city itself that you can see. There are these kind of large lantern-like posts that are set up, and you can see guards are kind of making their way over to them, and they're taking like torches and then lighting all of them. The city itself is pretty large too. It's probably at least, like two square miles, 2.5 maybe. It's pretty large, and it's not like super condensed. Everything's just spread out quite a way, so there's like distance that you have to walk. But making your way around and like
Before I would leave the tavern, I would ask if anyone wants to train with me, but like not necessarily spar. I just say I need. I just need a person to kind of watch what I'm doing. I just need a visual aid. Does anyone want to? Okay, perfect. You're
I
great.
guess so.
I
I'll go
actually,
too.
I'm gonna need some water. Can you do the water?
Probably.
Okay, cool.
We'll
You can
see.
come if you want to.
We'll see.
Anyone? All right, cool. You rest, please.
Follow them behind as they walk out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. So Sorry, I
Doesn't it
should have
feel
said
like
that
there's somebody
before,
just watching us at all times, like a shadow guy.
If you don't, by the end of this campaign, if you don't banish someone to the Shadow Realm, I
Holy
give up.
shit!
It's just death.
If you don't flip your trash card,
Oh, also with 8th level, you got your Chronomancer feature. Humbling
which
knowledge.
is humbling knowledge.
Yeah.
But that's more of a. I believe I either gain proficiency or expertise. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
And
If you're already proficient, you get expertise. But if you're
Yeah,
not, then you
I
get.
am.
Yeah. So you get expertise in history.
Cheater.
No, it's called history.
All right. Now, within the town itself, you guys making your way through. Whoever is following along. So I think it's just the 4 of you.
Is this? I forgot if you said this town was like the modern-looking one.
It's a little more modern, yes. Yeah, it definitely is. The building structure, the way that people kind of carry themselves around here, and the way that they're dressed. It's still very medieval,
Right.
but much more modern than most other places are. And there's not really like a wall that goes around the city. It's more of this very, very small, like stone fence, if you would, that just kind of perimeters it. And there's no really like set shape. It's not like square or anything. It's just a lot of like hills and these buildings that are up top, and some kind of central buildings like that general goods place, and then over where the stadium is with the central platform in it. I didn't really describe it before, which is my bad, but like the stadium itself, there's that central like wooden platform that's like circular, about 15 feet up. There's like these coliseum like seats that kind of surround it, and you guys would have like made your way through a small like walkway in order to get into there. But once you guys are now within that kind of spot, you can see that there is actually an individual that is there right now. Duke is there at the kind of spot. He's actually going through the circuit as well. Watching, like, he comes down from, like, you just watch him come down, like, 2 of the pull-up things, and then kind of stop, and then does, like, a couple of push-ups on the ground, and really has no idea that you're even really here. Starts doing the push-ups, and then walks over towards the rope, just starts, gets up towards the top, and then starts descending down, gets to the bottom, and then gets about halfway, and then kind of looks over his shoulder and sees you guys, and then takes like one hand and like slides down it. Even with his like callous hands, doesn't even look like he feels the burn at all. Like slides down and like lands. Keepers.
yes. Hello.
How's it going?
I am well. You?
Pretty good.
All good here. Just here to do some dusk training, some nightly training. I don't know. I'm just gonna whip around some spells. I'm not fighting, but I'm just trying to flex.
Do not break anything.
Just don't
I
break
heard
anything.
Okay. No, we will be respectful.
Picks up like a rag and kind of like wipes at his forehead, and then pushes his hair back, and then holds it, and then throws the rag over his shoulder, as you would. And then walks away.
You seem nice.
Where are the hooks on the racks? Where are they hooked into?
It's like a large wooden post, and then the hook is just kind of sitting off of it. So, like post like this, and then the hooks are probably like a large like pin or something that sinks them into there.
What dagger above the bottom one? They're kind of halfway up on one side, and then another dagger high up on the other side, higher up above that one. I'm gonna try and run, bounce off, and then bounce my way up.
Go ahead and roll 2 attacks first.
If I can, I try and grab the bottom bar with my tail as I leap off of it.
Okay.
Got a 15 and a 22.
15 and 22. The first dagger you throw them both with the same hand so they don't return to where they are. But you throw the daggers and they kind of sit. And as you like throw them, you're kind of moving towards it. Take the first step and your feet kind of catch on the first dagger and you can feel it kind of flex a little bit, but you use it to kind of bounce off, and then push with your tail off the bottom bar, and then grab over towards the other dagger, and kind of pull, and then go over towards the hook that's there, and just kind of grab onto it, and then kind of start manipulating back and forth up the rafters or the hooks that are sitting there, because it's pretty easy from there. Once you have like somewhere to grasp, you're just pretty much climbing and going nuts on it and grabbing away. And then you get up towards like the top, and then just kind of sit there and almost like crouch down, look down.
Backflip off of it, grab the dip, pull out the daggers on the way down.
And then
And walk away.
it's like,
Was that Shadow? You guys see?
Yeah.
He was your.
Oh, was he?
Anyway, so since you two are with me, I have the perfect idea.
Oh no.
I'm going to try this new
Are
spell.
you gonna hurt me?
No, you're gonna hurt me. I'm gonna try this new spell. I haven't tried it while we were actually fighting for real yet. I'm just gonna try it out. I need you to assist if the spell fails or you see it starting to weaken. So I'm gonna need you to throw cards in my direction.
Oh, this is a little awkward. Just a little bit. I may not have my cards right now.
They're being enchanted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, do you have like, do you have any like throwable
I could
things
shoot you.
in the bag of holding?
Mostly like silverware, some plates,
That'll
some
work.
bowls.
I think I might be able to throw a plate.
Yeah, Shadow, where are you? Oh, is he right behind me?
a dagger goes in between your feet, and you jump up.
That'll work. And I give him to Andrew because I'm too scared to give him to Shadow.
Could you throw a
Like-
warhammer?
Okay.
A Warhammer?
Yeah.
How
So
big's a Warhammer?
Did
You
you?
don't
I,
know what you're doing.
I couldn't even pick up the
That
sledgehammer.
was a little
here's
bigger.
this. Take like 10 to 20 steps back, and I want you to throw it at me as hard as you can.
Okay.
Take like
Okay.
25 to 30. He's small.
Now, I don't have the car. I'm not sure if we've like worked out the finite details of Wall of Sand yet. If we have, I didn't print it out.
It's an actual spell.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I didn't make that one up, but
I think it's
I just don't have it written down. I have other spells I'm gonna try to do.
You like curve the dagger around the wall so it doesn't matter at all.
here it is. We can only do that with cards.
So confused, like you just took my daggers.
No, Andrew took the dagger
I didn't take he took the dagger.
and handed it to you.
He handed it.
So it sounds like this is
Well,
supposed to be
wasn't
more of a visionary thing than a physical, strong thing. But that'll work in a sense of like he won't know where to throw it.
He could throw around corners.
Yeah, there's cards.
Now I'm gonna try the spell. I'm gonna create a wall of sand to block his vision. If the spell is starting to thin out and like you see it starting to fail, if you can just throw some water on there, it'll thicken up the sand.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
This is my first attempt, so
Okay.
just let me
29, 30.
just
Okay, I'm here.
Concentration.
You ready?
30 feet long, 10 feet high, 10 feet thick.
Should I throw it? Hello?
Okay.
He's doing something, I don't know.
Do you just want me to do like a?
No, you're good. You just cast it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna say it's not really a. Okay, so I'm going to take out my staff and I'm going to give it my first shot. I've never done it
This is-
before.
All right.
This is
Take your
weird.
staff. All of the magic, although you were taught a lot of it, there's some part of it that feels natural. So once you take the staff and kind of set it down, you start clicking a bunch of dials, and all the sand starts pooling from that central like bead of energy in the middle, and it just starts like pouring out. And then once it does, you take the staff and just kind of start like pushing it in front of you, and all the sand's just kind of like blanketing and then stacking up on top of each other. And then it gets to a point where you just kind of like do it extremely fast, and it all just like flows out like this huge wave, and then it solidifies itself into this like huge square, like 30 feet long, about like 10 feet tall. Once it gets fully there, you just kind of like hold the staff where it is, and you can see the wall kind of shaking a little bit. You can feel the staff kind of shaking a little bit. All of this sand that's right here is just being controlled by like the staff that you're holding in front of you.
Throw it!
Once the sand goes up, you can't even see him anymore.
Throw it.
I'll throw it. I don't know where I have.
Just make an attack with disadvantage. So technically, you're not even supposed to be able to hit him because you can't see him, but I'll let you do it with disadvantage because you like where he was. Are you proficient with daggers?
I don't think I am. So, this is. I'm gonna throw it that far. I'll throw it far enough. A 7.
Alright. Takes the dagger and throws it, and then you can, kind of like you watching, like from the side, the dagger like flies and hits into the wall, but like the sand just like shoves it at the ground just because he can't see where it's at.
I think it worked.
I drop it.
He threw the dagger.
The sand falls, and you imagine like this huge bit of it like all over the place, but it just pulls up into the staff. And even like part of your arm gets a little like covered just because there's so much sand pulling back into it.
Alright, it worked. That'll work for us if we ever need cover. Yeah? So we're gonna try another exercise. Take this knife back
Oh god.
and throw it at me again. Or actually, just try to stab me.
What?
Why did you do that?
Either of you, that's fine.
He asked me to stab him. I'm stabbing him. That didn't sound
You are very defensive about that.
Oh, wait. Time out. Hey, Shadow, where you at? Where is he?
Posting on the back.
Oh my
The
god.
dagger.
I don't want to do it against you because you're too good, but I was gonna ask you, is that dagger like important to you? Did your like dad give it to you or something? Okay, so it's cool if I break it. Can I unrust something?
He can try and throw the plate at you. I have a plate.
I can hit you
Does
with
that plate metal?
It
Maybe
is.
that's silverware.
Did the silverware too.
I could stab you with a fork.
He could stab you
A
with
butter
a fork.
knife, get him.
I think there's a knife in there. Just
I don't know. I just need a piece of. I just need a piece
Like
of
a
metal
keychain.
that's invaluable. Can we find that?
He's definitely got something in there.
Here's a plate. Here's a fork. Is that
Cup.
That's fair.
That plate still has
I grab the knife back and I give it to him. Like, sorry.
That was the
Am I
kitchen.
supposed to eat this? Why'd you give me? Why is there food on here? Oh my god!
All right.
Holy shit!
All right. So go ahead, throw that plate at me, and then come at me with the knife and fork.
Okay.
Throw the plate at him.
I'm going to try to catch it and perform rust on it.
All right. The second you catch it, you grab it and then click like on the dial, and the sand flows through, but the sand turns into this whitish energy. And you guys watch the plate, like where this very, very bright kind of silver color is, starts turning to this greenish brown, and it slowly starts eroding to the point where the plate kind of even like shrivels up a little bit and gets to this very, very almost ash-like substance, to where he just like takes it and throws it, and it just breaks on the ground.
Sick as shit.
Ooh.
Yep. And then so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna throw it. And I'm gonna be like,
Okay.
Stab me.
hungry.
Stabbing him with the knife and the fork.
Proficiency with fork and knife.
I actually do. That's the one thing. Cards. It says cards and
Alright, so
knife
you
and
do,
fork.
you do have
so.
2 fourth level spells. Alright. So,
It also says all weapons.
you
but
need to
not
make
ammunition. That's the fighter.
as you are wielding the weapon, need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh shit!
That plate crumpled up, my eyes got real wide, like, you were gonna do that to my fucking bag?
Why'd I ask?
Yeah, 26.
But, so, as he's focusing, he's just like running like crazy, so it's hard for you to focus on the knife. Make an attack.
Oh shit. You're gonna stab this.
Right in his fucking leg.
18.
18. The knife sinks in your leg, just like from Talladega Nights, just deep in there, just hits, and you kind of.
I know what to do. We need another knife. We'll cut it.
I didn't.
That happened with a knife.
I didn't mean that seriously.
A little bit of blood kind of.
It's already out. Just. I accelerate on my knee.
You don't want me to...
What did we learn?
Alright.
Do you want me to stab you with the fork now, or are we...
No, I think if I got the plate, just...
The fork's not... I can't really stab this into you, let's be honest. Come on. He definitely... I'm stabbing him with it, okay? I want to try and see if he can do it with the fork.
Go for it.
Okay?
Alright.
We don't have any more second level spells.
But I
I'm gonna
don't-
stab him with the fork for no reason.
I should have... I have one... No, I don't. Whoops.
Yeah, you have 2 4th levels. So you had the first one on the plate, and then the second one would have been on the knife.
Alright, tell me when you're ready for me to stab you with the fork.
I don't know if he
No.
wants you to do that anymore.
That's fine. Just,
He's gonna let me stab you with the fork.
Andrew is just beating everybody at this training.
So I was just...
See, I don't really want you to stab you with the fork.
He's trying to will him to stab him.
Pulls out.
you know what? I'm not gonna rust it because I don't want to drain all my big energy. So
Big
just
fork
come,
energy.
just come at me. I'll just figure something out. Just come on.
I don't...
No, come on.
Come
on.
You again.
Sweep the leg!
As he's running at me, I'm going to cast slow.
Okay.
You're gonna slow down. I'm still stabbing you with the fork.
Make a wisdom save. It's wisdom save, right?
Yes. Wisdom before? Which one first?
Wisdom before.
Should I use the roll with that roll?
No, just roll that.
We're 16.
What's your spell save?
16.
Alright, so it's 16. Stab him with the fork.
Stab with the fork, brother!
Attack.
No, you're not getting stabbed. It's a 10.
So
So he
wait,
goes to stab you with the fork. How do you want to stop him?
if
The slow
I s-
fails.
The slow fails. So I try the slow. I see that it's not like connecting. So I think he's just running like at a pretty normal speed. So I just I slapped the fork out of his hand and slapped him in the face.
Roll an attack for the slap to the face.
Yeah. Just normal.
Just add your dexterity or your strength. That's it.
Is it natural 1?
No, it's a 5, so it's like it's a 4.
So you take and like reach with the staff and like smack, and the fork like flies out of the way, and then you like, and you just like smack the top of his hat.
Whoa! Whoa!
Finn gets down on his knees. And gives him a hug.
I don't know if I accept this.
You did stab him.
He whispers in his ear, "Thank you for helping me."
I don't really think I helped you. I kind of stabbed you with a bunch of things. It's pretty cool.
He did stab him.
It's okay, guys.
I think I got the wanting to fight out of my way. Though.
Listen,
That's good.
I did the wall sand thing. I did the rust thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad we could all share this moment.
Kind of ruined one of the
I'll
plates.
head over to where Andrew was throwing from. And as I'm throw the dagger at the floor. I pull up the sword. And I gust it, kick it up, and I spin around and kick it. And as I kick it, I say, "Heads up!"
Oh my God! You're kicking the sword at us?
Oh, the dagger.
Oh, the dagger!
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was kicking the sword! Holy shit! Still worse! I'd rather have a dagger kick at me than a whole fucking sword.
That hat getting pierced.
You hit my hat. We're actually fighting.
Oh my god.
Alright. And then roll an attack.
Can I, as a reaction cast?
21.
Shit, where are you kicking it at?
That's it.
At Finn.
Okay. No, that's fine. Let me see.
Well, I was like already in the wings, waiting to.
No, as a reaction, I want to cast. Just let me check real quick. I want
Just
to.
gonna use wind shield.
I'm gonna cast shield. I have it.
Alright.
Sand shield, but shield.
Alright, so as you take the gust and it like kicks up the dagger, you just kick the... Or, you said you kicked it?
Yeah, kick the dagger, the hilt of it.
Yeah.
Spun in the air and kick it towards him.
Alright. Then it flies towards you, and as it's flying towards you, and you hear him yell, "Heads up!" You kind of look over in that direction, and then just like instinctually use the shield spell. All this sand flies up, and the dagger actually like pushes through it, but the sand like wraps around and grabs it, and then pushes it like down towards the ground.
So you get a 21 to hit.
You just, what is your AC with
So my
shield? What's
with shield, that's 19.
Oh, okay. So as it like wraps through and like almost gets caught, it actually flies through and like sinks into your shoulder.
Oh. Is it deep?
Wait, what is your AC normally?
Destroy his
14.
destroy his dagger now. Destroy it. Right in front of him. Look him in the eye.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
I wasn't wearing mage armor. I don't
So you
think.
take 6 damage. It sinks like a good like 2, 3. Like it hits and then like kind of like dangles a little bit.
Can I not have cast anything?
6.
I was gonna cast Wind Wall.
Probably not like reactionary. I would probably go like
I'm gonna get up, take it out, hand it to Shadow, and walk over, hand it to him. Why would you ruin this special moment between me and my friends?
You, my friend.
No, it's okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Thanks for ruining the night. Then walks away.
That was a little harsh.
He did just throw a dagger at him.
I mean, you
And he
stabbed him in
didn't
the
ask
leg.
him for it.
I mean,
He did ask me to stab him in the leg.
I don't know if he specifically said he wanted to stab him in the leg.
I can only reach his leg.
So,
Or I could stab him in his dick. But I already kicked somebody there, so I didn't want to do it again.
gee, I wonder who that was.
Sorry about that.
Does Shadow say anything to that as Finn's walking away? No, that's okay. Thanks for wasting all of our time.
Relax, buddy.
Turns around, it's like,
Alright. Make your way back to the tavern. Everyone making their way back? No? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So once you guys get to the tavern, each of you have your own rooms within here. The tavern's quite large. The inn above is very hospitable and accommodating for you guys. There's food in there if you want it, drinks and stuff. Orm finds himself some rest very early. The rest of you, after doing your little training and messing around, find your way back. Eat or drink, and then find yourselves going to sleep.
Before I go to sleep,
Yep.
I want to cast Owl's Wisdom on myself, and then I'm going to take a look at my wrist and try and gather if, when Finn snapped the bone back into place, that it's set right, and just kind of like do a general check on my arm, make sure that it's going to heal okay. 20.
20. For the most part, like it's healed, but it's definitely not set properly, so it just seems like it's gonna keep popping.
Can I set it properly?
You can try, it might really hurt more.
A wood block.
Can you do it to yourself is the real fucking question.
I don't know. Would I know how to?
Are you proficient in that?
No.
Yeah, probably not.
He just snaps his arm in a different place.
This bone's connected to this bone. I snap. Line it up.
Right back in place.
Right back in place.
I mean, I have a.
Jack wakes up in the morning and his arms are just like noodles.
Full body cast.
I have like +5. I just I think when Finn snapped it back in place, he was kind of drunk and he just did it to be funny. I don't know.
That's fucked up.
You ever snap someone's
That's
wrist
like-
to be funny?
Hilarious. The classic wrist break.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, now that you guys are all resting, you wake up in the morning, Orem, a little bit earlier.
I wake up like super early.
Yeah.
I put on my gray sweatpants, hoodie, put on my iPod, tie the tiger, and jog through the town.
Is there a very large staircase somewhere?
Those stairs going up to the wooden platform, that's about it.
Creed 3.
Yeah.
Long story.
All right. But nonetheless, as you, is there anything you want to do before everybody else gets up, or you just?
No, I probably would actually go for like some type of like cardio-esque like pump up.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of go through and run around and stuff. And as you are, you can see that other people are doing the same. You just kind of pass Brock, and that's about it. But make your way back towards somebody just like a butcher on the side, just like over the shit out of a pig.
Hey, get out of here! Can I, if it's in my time, can I find Shadow really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's
within
probably sleeping. Actually, he likes to
He's asleep.
I wake him up.
Oh no.
Remember when you stabbed me?
He's like, dagger back, bitch.
Oh, that was good.
Pull the swatch. Oh, can I do that again?
Revenge is sweet. No, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna wake him up. Hey, it's Orm's big day, and I'm sorry for being mean to you yesterday. So I made you this using sand manipulation. I have created a small portrait of him out of sand, like a small little sculpture. It kind of looks like him. It's not that great because I'm just learning it, but I'm like, it's floating in my hand.
And then it crumbles away once you go to grab it.
It crumbles.
Yeah. Once you go to grab it, it just turns to sand and then disappears.
I look Shadow dead in the eyes as he's like just getting up, and I go, I can't believe you've done this. Finn walks away without saying another word.
I love that you've done this. Closes the door behind him.
Slams it.
The sand that falls out of your hands like hits the floor and then goes underneath the door. You can see the like shadow of his feet that are there, and then the sand goes up, and then he walks away.
It's clubbed.
It's like a touche.
The game's on, bitch.
Yeah, now I'm gonna get a knife in my back. That's great.
You guys dagger it.
Every day,
Shadow's gonna somehow
I'm gonna get a katana through my side, and the last words I hear is, "I can't believe you've done this."
Shadow straight up decapitates him.
Game? What are you guys funny? Holy shit. Wow.
Rewind's time. Not yet, bitch. Not yet.
Alrighty, so
We'll have more sequels than Chucky series.
now within the tavern, the Battered Bear, you guys are all seated around the table. Food's brought to you. As you're sitting there, Baji kind of makes his way over. Hey, what's going on? Everyone good? Yeah? Yep. Alright, cool. Here, thank you. Grabs a anchor and takes a sip from it.
Are you allowed to fight? It didn't really seem like yesterday that you were like in the tournament thing.
Yeah, it's a little story. But anyways, not about me. Orum, right? Yeah. You feel ready?
Right.
You seemed alright with the little prelims yesterday.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
He's gonna do great.
He's a champion.
And by the way, I made these shirts last night, and I present 5 shirts that say ORIMM for all of us.
Dibs on the M.
And then Skip is here, right? Yeah. And I look at Skip and I go, I'm sorry. I didn't know if it was gonna fit on the met.
We just spray painted exclamation.
That's alright.
No. We'll figure something out. Do you have like paint in that bag? Did I throw paint in there?
Wow. Way to have everything.
I mean, I can
besides the one
carve like an exclamation point to your chest.
No, thank you.
That's fair.
I can actually probably do that pretty efficient.
That's alright.
So I hand the
Scotch.
It really does.
so I hand the t-shirts out to everyone with my weaving technology.
Yeah, shirts are a little small.
Why is this shirt so big?
He's trying to put on a fucking head, like, why didn't even fit over his head? The R just looks.
It's the M!
Alright, so who's got what letters? M?
It's
It's a fucking
it just stops. It's just a giant O on Ander. I think Connor has one of the. Connor has the R. Finn has the I, and then Shadow has the other M. But now we're standing in a certain way that it just says rim.
Rima. Baji's just like sitting there drinking, like just watching everything happen.
I slightly tear up after the thought of having Shirkman after me.
Just says Miro.
Baji kind of starts looking like, you should probably be there already, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Or at least close.
Fuck.
Getting close there. I see the sun coming up.
I power walk out of there.
Like, yeah, I knew I was gonna get through the door and start walking out. You can see once you actually break into the city, a lot of people are pushing towards that way. So there's like, so you're actually like having to maneuver and get your way through, walking behind. There's a lot of foot traffic. Probably a couple hundred people, you know, just making their way over to there.
My shit kicked in.
Watching their shit kicked in.
I got beat up on the way over. I can't participate.
He hurt me.
Alright. Making your way over to there. Ignore the clanking of swords because there aren't any. But in making your way...
Sword fighting.
Yeah, they're my boots.
Making your way there, there are this kind of just roaring crowd that's just talking and, you know, chanting. You get over to there and can see everybody's starting to pile into here now. When you would have originally got there in the morning, you would have been brought into this kind of small tunnel that's across from the farther stairway that has this large kind of stone room where everyone's just kind of sitting and prepping, you know, mentally preparing themselves for what's going on. And some of them are kind of like bouncing around. Like you can see the one individual that was kind of sitting there, bobbing and stuff, is just kind of sitting there in the zone, very Rocky-like, just focused. The other individuals, you can see the elven woman is just kind of standing in that same position with her legs kind of crossed like this, with the hands in front of her. Yoldguard is just kind of over to the side, like leaning against the wall, just relaxed. You can see Brock is just kind of sitting over to the side, cracking at his knuckles, sitting there. You guys are just in here by yourself right now. Duke's not actually in here. Eventually makes his way into the room though. Takes a little bit time, looks everyone over. Alright, is everybody ready? Prepared? Yes? That looks, everyone just kind of gives nods, nobody really speaks much. Remember, you're not fighting out there for yourselves, you're fighting for Baltha and his honor. Remember that. He gives a little bit of a nod. Starts making his way out towards the actual Colosseum itself. You guys making your way in, find yourself some seats. Baji kind of, hey, I got us some seats. Already was there, told him you guys were keepers. Said I was with you, so I'm gonna be sitting next to you, alright? Alright, great. So this way. You've been here, this will be the third day.
Also, can we flash back to the tavern?
Yeah.
Before we left, I probably like in the morning when I first woke up, I would go find Skip. I'm like, Skip, I think I broke my wrist yesterday, so I don't think the bone is set right. Can you fix it for me? I'm gonna also cast Owl's Wisdom.
Okay, so it's advantage?
Yeah.
Proficient in medicine.
Yes.
Yes. So it's gonna be a 25.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hopefully you went to
The medicine guy.
Yeah. As he's sitting there, he kind of like looks over at the table, grabs a spoon. Bite this. The second you bite it, you actually bite through the spoon and it snaps and it's like, but the bone is kind of like this quick bit of pain and then it's like, and then you start doing this and it doesn't snap or pop.
Alright, and I'll just use my mastery of water again just to kind of soothe it and keep it, you know, try to reduce the swelling while we go do stuff throughout the day.
Alrighty. Head out of here, guys. See you next week. Yep.
Thanks for the song. I'm gonna buy pizza for everyone next week.
If you want me to pitch in, let me know. We don't really get pizza that much.
Wait for Eddie to get back here. I think we really need him.
The key component?
Alright, so how are you guys seated?
In line.
Alright. Sitting?
ORIMM.
Are we sitting in the right order?
Oh, the M's are in the wrong order.
True. The M's are what is it? I can't. Baji. Baji randomly had an exclamation point at his home, so now we have that part too. No, we didn't. He had the missing shirt.
Yes, just like an exclamation point t-shirt.
So as he's sitting here, you're alright. Baji, like looking towards you guys, kind of starts explaining over the loud, sword fighting. So, yeah, every year this tournament here is had because, we kind of pay tribute to Valkyrie, right? But, Belfa? I don't know who Belfa is. God, he represents strength and honor, the glory of combat, and fighting. It's thrilling. It's a rush. That's and he shows the tattoo again. It's like that's a symbol that we represent it. We want to show our tribute and our homage and devotion to him. It's not really like we don't pray all the time and do that thing. We're more through fighting that we show our appreciation. And this tournament's a way of doing it. We do it every year, usually within the month of Togath. Just find a day and start it up. People from all around usually don't come. It's just everyone within the city really contributes to it. Sometimes you'll actually see people walking around making bets. That's not really our thing. We're kind of more here for the actual fight itself. And at that point, you can actually see somebody over on the side has this large satchel with a rolled up scroll of paper that they're taking off and writing names on, and then a mount next to it, and people are handing in coin purses, just taking it, putting a little tag on it, writing a name, and then putting it away. Alright, if anyone wants to make bets, I'm over here. We got, hold on, let me let you know the fights. Alright, the first one is going to be Brock and Yoldguard. Yeah, Brock and Yoldguard. And then Jackson and Sahara. And then Orm's going to be fighting the winner of... the loser of Jackson and Sahara. And then that will conclude the first round of fights. Any bets? Bets?
I don't know if it's
Nobody? Alright.
within my character.
I got seven coins.
Starts making his way further down the aisles.
Much more.
As he makes his way a little further down, he looks over and goes, alright, they should be starting any moment now, and he kind of looks, oh yeah, there's Duke right now. As he points and looks over, you can see Duke is making his way up. Duke is where you saw him before with no shirt, and he just kind of had those pants on. has this very, very nice kind of flowy shirt on that has a embroidered symbol on the left chest of Baltha. Kind of makes his way up towards the stage, and people are like kind of going nuts and cheering and yelling, and then he just kind of puts his hands up and everybody gets a little quiet. Welcome to the grand tournament of Baltha. Baltha is smiling down on us in this moment. We come here to fight for nothing but respect for him and for combat. We fight for honor. This spectacle shows our appreciation and devotion to Baltha. Everybody kind of cheers and claps. May this tournament be a tribute to Baltha, a gathering of his warriors. He kind of reaches and puts his hands towards all of the audience. May we meet him in Arcadia to fight in the afterlife. Now, enjoy the spectacle these skilled fighters will put on for you. The strong stand tall. And then everybody else, the strong stand tall. It just kind of echoes throughout. Now, for the first match. Introducing from the town of Grunswick, the man who punches like his hands are made of stone. Brock! Brock starts making his way up the stairs and getting up towards the top. Just kind of puts his hands up, and you can see they're a little, disproportionate, like they're not the same size. They're definitely swollen. Kind of raises him up and clenches his fists, and then gets towards the other side.
Does he have fans?
Yeah, people definitely like cheer and yell out, but nobody's like, kill him! People like,
Rock fan club.
matched up against him!
Over and I have a Brock phone.
Yeah, but it's like misshapen.
Just like a big foam, like ball. Standing there, he turns around, everybody kind of cheering, he kind of calms everyone down. Matched up against him, he travels away across from the sea, from the Nasayun desert, to display his devotion. Yoldguard! And as he does, the Bengarran individual slowly steps up, doesn't raise his hands or anything, and just kind of staring across the way at Brock.
I try to contain my excitement here, but I'm just like really excited to see him fight.
Stands there,
Yeah,
stands across from him.
I think Finn, along with Mordrak, like super into this guy. Like just as like a fan, if this was WWE.
That's the actual
Yeah.
thing.
I think I'm yelling like "Go in Bengarran."
As it kind of slows down a little bit, Duke puts his hands up one more time. The rules are as follows and have never changed to our tradition. If you are forced off of the platform, you lose. If you are rendered unconscious, you lose. If you forfeit, you are dishonored and no longer allowed here again. They are very forward. You understand? They look over to the side. Fight! And then he takes like a step back and gets over towards the side, and you can see he's still kind of standing there. The second he does that, Brock starts charging over towards Yoldguard. As he does, he gets closer. Yoldguard steps forward, and they start like swinging back and forth with each other. Brock takes like 2 quick punches, and one of them actually makes contact, but the other one Yoldguard pushes to the side. And as he does, kind of takes like a jump up and like kicks towards like his shoulder, and it almost floors him a little bit to where he catches, and then brings that elbow back up towards Yoldguard, and Brock's kind of like, at this point now backing up a little bit. Yoldguard starts walking towards him and gets like right very, very close to him. They're both in the center still of the platform, and Yoldguard kind of just grabs underneath like his arms and grabs like a little bit of skin and even like digs in, and then tries to throw him as hard as he can and picks him up, and he actually like lands on his back, and you watch his arms like hang over the side, and then Yoldguard jumps up with his foot and goes to like bring it down towards his chest as hard as he can, and he rolls out of the way, and you watch a little bit of the wood on the side like crack and splinter off and like fall over towards the side. People start cheering really loud. Once Brock rolls up, he actually takes and punches Yoldguard like right towards the ribs a couple of times, and the first 2 he's like, and then the last one he kind of lets out a grunt, looks over towards him, brings his foot up and kicks into his midsection, and he slides back onto the ground. Brock is like looking a little hurt and starts getting up, and then starts like running as fast as he can towards Yoldguard. Jumps up and Superman punches him like towards like trying to go for his head, but like ends up getting like into his chest and punches really hard, and it actually hits hard enough to where Yoldguard falls to the ground and is like on there, starts getting himself up, and then Brock takes his foot and kicks to his side, and he rolls over on his side, and then getting up You watch Brock kind of going over behind him and then going to grab at his legs and just kind of like trying to flip him over because he's pretty close to the edge. He's kind of like a foot away. Goes to grab at his feet where Yoldguard like looks and sees and then just kicks with both feet backwards. Brock falls to the ground and like rolls a little bit and then stumbles. And as he's going to get up, Yoldguard just running towards him, takes his knee up towards his chin, and as it connects, it actually picks him up off the ground, and he's like in the air. Yoldguard turns around and takes the back of his foot, just kicks towards his chest, and you watch Brock fly through the air, like hit his back, like right towards the edge of the platform, and start like sliding off before he like reaches a hand up and grabs it, and then it's like hanging by one arm off the platform. Everyone starts. You can see him like taking the other hand and like trying to swing it up and like grab, and it's just like dangling there. The other fingers like slip away. He grabs on with the other hand. Everyone screams again really loudly. Yoldguard just makes his way over, actually reaches down and grabs like the top of his head and like lifts it up just a little bit, and then punches as hard as he can towards his face. And there's this loud like cracking noise that makes everyone kind of go silent for a second, and then you just watch Brock like falling towards the edge, smack onto the ground, 15 feet down, just hits his back onto the ground. You watch people rush over towards him and kind of like tend to him, and then Yoldguard just starts walking off. Everyone's just cheering as loud as they can, screaming.
I'm like holding him.
Yeah.
You look and Finn has like war paint on his eyes.
Very good! The Duke starts kind of clapping as loud as he can. For Dalfa! Starts clapping. Next! And he kind of gestures over and reaches his hand out. We have Sahara from the Redwoods of Vanore. And he gestures her hand out, and you watch the elven girl, or elven woman, making her way up. Very, very elegantly standing there. Kind of looks across the way.
She attractive.
Yes.
Finn's looking.
Yeah, she definitely is. She's kind of, it's just this very, very like tough girl, kind of like shaved on this side, flowing on this side. It's like
Oh, a
dark brown
Skrillex
hair.
haircut?
Yes.
Finn's got the biggest boner ever.
As he introduces her,
Give him that wub wub, you know.
also traveling across the sea from the kingdom of Southbrook, Jackson! And he puts his hand up, and the guy with the ponytail kind of pulled back walks up. You can see he's kind of like bobbing around a little bit. Starts getting up there, and he's like wiping at his face, and focusing. He's got his hands and is looking across at her. She's got her hands very relaxed in front of her legs crossed, just kind of staring out.
I whisper over to I'm trying to think. If I'm wearing eye, then I'm next to Moldrak. I whisper over to Moldrak. I'm like, the old guy scares me.
Scared of him having a heart attack.
He kind of looks over and, you understand our ancient rules and traditions. He looks to the two of them. They both nod. Fight! And as they do, Jackson doesn't like really quickly, but kind of starts like weaving in a little bit, getting closer. She takes two very, very calm steps towards him. Doesn't really move much. He starts like getting ready and gets a little closer. She gets a little closer too, taking steps. He's kind of like bobbing and like weaving towards her. Gets close, and then once they're probably like a good 3 or 4 feet from being in range of hitting each other, he takes like a quick step forward and brings like a jab, like a straight towards her. She just moves to the side, grabs him towards the top of his head, knees his head down, and then once he's like kind of bobbing out of the way, she just starts punching him, and he's trying to move as best he can, but she's like hitting him in the face, and he just keeps going more and more towards the edge, and then he gets to a point where she just kind of stops and looks at him and smiles, and then he's like, and looks back and sees that he's like at the edge at this point, where she was just hitting him so much and so fast that he got to a point where he couldn't even understand where he was. He looks back and then looks back at her, his eyes widen, and she just very gingerly steps up and does that same spin kick, hits him in the face, and he just falls off the edge. And she lands down, looks, and everybody's just really quiet, and then someone's just like,
Finn takes the sign he did make for that guy and crosses it out and puts her name.
He kind of raises his hands. Very well done, Sahara. Very well. Kind of raises and gestures over, and she, makes an exit. We're going to take a quick intermission while Brock recovers, and next, Brock will fight one of the Keepers of Zaxria. Everyone kind of gets a little quiet. Orm from the Kingdom of Yoldguard. And he kind of leans back a little bit and adjusts down.
We all stand up.
You guys start
You
clapping.
break the shirt.
Stand up.
It's alright, we have two. It's okay, we have two M's.
Now they're gonna think it's spelled with a single M.
Alright.
On the mood of intermission.
Can you rotate that camera down for me?
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just grab that handle and push it. Too far?
Not
A
far
little
enough.
more, and then over that way. Beautiful. Boom. All right. Oh wait, no, this is not Immerse. This is Morphs. Anything you want to do before you go out there? At this moment, you're sitting within that stone structure, and you can kind of tell that it's about to happen.
I'm gonna look up at my friends. I don't even know if they looking at them. Kind of like hold on to like my holy symbol. Do a small prayer moment for strength. With a heavy exhale. Let's go on the arena, man.
All right.
So there was nothing like fishy or magical about the other two fights either. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I have to.
Supposed to use the minor intervention and call a hammer down on top of it.
I wish.
It just breaks the pedestal.
Tried the divine hammer one time. That shit did not work.
I want to use 5 million HP.
You're regretting me setting you up for this.
I'm scared of Cat Dan. Not gonna lie. He's a fucking. After watching him bash your guy's fucking head in on the inside of the fucking mouth.
I think I'm more scared of that girl.
Actually, yeah. She's probably way too fast for me. I'm like fucking.
Are they gonna fight before you
Like
fight
stop my
either?
heart mid-battle.
Would they fight before you fight them?
I don't actually know.
It seems pretty
There's 6
confusing.
people, so like. There's always 1 month over because, yeah, there's 6. Well, there's 5 or 5 of us. There's 5 of us. So. Because there's only going to be 3 winners after this. So then I don't know if one of them has to fight one of the other losers or what, but.
What if it's a tri-fight?
Fuck! Now I'm fucking thunder waving bitches off the side of the platform. Also bringing in Todd, he's my partner.
Or you just hide. Hide till they
Just
fight.
Ultra Instinct.
And then when one of them gets to the edge, you just push them up. And like,
Don't call me.
Alright. Like I say in Portland, let's do that tournament. Alright, now at this point as you start ascending the steps and you look over and can see all of your friends, they have these very, very, not well-made, but made shirts that have letters of your name on them, and they're all just kind of standing over there, and as you start making your way up, you can hear Duke kind of yelling over, "Introducing first, one of the Keepers of Zaxria from the Kingdom of Yoldguard, Orm!" And he kind of reaches over and gestures his hand towards the steps that you start to ascend. You just go, walk.
We lose it.
Very calm one. You hear and see all of your comrades yelling and screaming and jumping up and down, yelling your
You
name.
see your name misspelled.
A couple of people are kind of like clapping and there's light applause and cheer. And then, opposed against him,
The defeated from earlier, but still a chance to redeem himself now. Brock! And he kind of raises his hand up over towards that direction. Brock gets up and definitely seems like he's got like his face is definitely swollen and like kind of messed up right here, but he seems okay enough to.
Can you see out of his left side of his face?
Yeah, it's just kind of like right like on his face right here. That's really messed up. Makes his way up and stands over there and then just kind of looks over towards you. Doesn't really even like blink or anything. Just staring at you. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Top 10 enemy battles.
I don't have my shield on it. It's a 15.
15.
Also, before the battle fights, it starts, I rip off my sleeves. So I'm in a muscle shirt, basically.
There's a tattoo on his upper arm that no one's seen before. It says
Just
like
mom.
And it says Todd.
Yeah, knuckle tattoos of Todd.
When you get the T-Rex, you can put it on both your hands.
Yeah, T-Rex and Todd.
It says Todd hurt.
Alright. Oh. There's missing papers.
God, those hidden papers.
Okay. So you got what, 15?
Yeah.
Alright, I had 17.
What?
You're locked.
He's just gonna push you.
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
You're fucked. Well, it's 22.
21.
Oh, I feel like I have advantage, so hold on, make that 20. I mean, I'm tired, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. As he runs over towards you, you kind of, for a second, like, he moves extremely quick, so he's like right on top of you, and you're only a foot and a half from the edge. So once he gets over it, he just takes his fist and tries to like punch towards you, and it actually hits, but you just like round your foot and like take the punch. That's his turn. He was just trying to push you off.
I like grab him and try to throw him to the side.
Yeah, go and make an athletics check.
Suplex.
16.
16. Alright. As he like punches, you grab his arms and just pull him towards you, and then grab up at his shoulders and just go to chuck him off the edge. As you do, you actually grab him and throw him, and he gets towards the edge and is like almost falling off, but grabs onto the platform and is like squeezing, and you can see his hands.
I'm the heel jar him.
And then all of a second you just hear "fuck!" and as he's grabbing onto the edge. Strength check.
Don't punch this guy right in his fucking face.
Alright, so he's... He's like that. After you threw him and he grabbed the edge and like caught it, he like pulled himself up to where his arms are like kind of on the edge and he's looking up right now. So it's your turn.
What is this?
Alright, go ahead and roll an attack then.
Oh, this would be 11.
11 to hit? Yeah. 11 to... Oh, advantage. He's like...
Advantage? Take that. Say 14.
Alright, so as you take your fist, you kind of duck down and go to swing at him. He just kind of ducks and gets out of the way of it, just barely. And then takes his turn to fully get back up on here. And then just step a little towards the side as much as he can.
Your turn. I'm gonna step forward, but to the side, and then push him this way.
Like this way?
Yeah.
Alright. You're just gonna shove him? You want to actually
punch him.
Alright, go ahead and make an attack.
That is a 18.
18? 18 hits.
Alright. Ooh, max damage. That's 14 and quick back 10 feet.
Alright. Right to the edge. As you take it, you get over to the side, just take one swing as hard as you can and hit. It's not like this huge technique, it's just you being like forceful and just punching out. As you hit and make contact, you can feel this like strength surge through your arm and all of this force and energy. And as it punches, like he gets hit and like picks up in the air and then hits the wood platform and like rolls towards the edge and is like sitting on it and his back's kind of rested against it.
But he's still like actually on it?
But he's still on it, yeah. He's gonna get up and run over to you.
Stop it.
First attack. Natural 20. Six. And a 6. Holy shit. 17 damage.
Jesus. Alright.
That is one.
Oh! You know what? Fuck it. How to make a dex save?
Dex save?
Yeah.
20 something.
Alright.
17.
He takes 2d8 halved thunder damage, just puts back 10 feet. 7.
7?
Yes.
As he pushed back, even if he succeeds?
Yes, he still takes aim regardless. It's just half damage if he succeeds in that. I don't know if he's pushed.
Is he pushed?
Well, he still takes damage. This is whenever damage is dealt.
Yeah.
It's thunder damage, he gets pushed back 10 feet.
Okay. Oh, okay. I got you. I want to check this for you. He's just gonna use evasion and take no damage.
Sure.
Oh God, I've never seen a move like that before in my life.
Oh, the humanity.
Okay.
My turn then?
You can make one more attack.
What? He's 2 attacks?
It's not gonna hit though.
He
It's
only
a 10. We're gonna bonus action for your both. So it's 24. And 19. Alright, so 12 more damage. Alright, now it is your turn.
I'm gonna kind of like shoulder check him.
Alright. Do you want to try to shove him, or are you just trying to like make some flavor for the punch?
Clear with the punch.
Alright, go ahead and roll a hit.
That's not it.
No. So when you take the first like hit towards him and he actually makes contact and then kind of gets like this jolt of energy to him, but like evades it. Takes his knee and swings it up towards your chest and hits you, and then takes two more punches down. You go to like shoulder check him, but he backs up, and then as he backs up, takes his foot up, goes to swing at your stomach. 13.
What is my, is that it? I'll actually know the hit.
It's 10 plus your dex.
Yeah, it is.
And then 15. Alright, grand total of 13.
I'm actually trying to push him this time.
Alright. Athletics. Oh my god.
18. 19, sorry.
That's 12. And then probably moving in space.
Yep.
So after he kicks up towards your stomach and then throws like this elbow up at your head, it actually makes contact, and with that you just kind of take your hands underneath his chest and just kind of shove him
goes back a couple of steps and then looks towards the edge and looks back at you immediately as you charge up on it. You're gonna just take 2 swings at you. That's 1 and a 22.
I get any bonus for him rolling a natural one?
10 damage.
Only take 10 damage.
Yeah, you only take 10 damage. And then it is your turn.
Push one again.
Alright.
17.
16. He beat me by 1. Alright, as he takes forward and punches as hard as he can, like towards your chest, he actually like misses a little bit, like it throws off his balance, but he catches himself and just throws an elbow this way up towards your face, but you back up and it like hits towards the chest and it's still enough where you just shove him back as hard as you can. This time he actually like falls on his back a little bit and then has to step up as you're getting closer at the same time, so he's trying to evade, and you can see like his heel is actually against the edge of the platform. He's gonna take 2 attacks at you. So that there is a 12 and a 21. Both hit? Yep. 17 damage.
Very good. Make him do dex save.
Natty ones. That's a fail.
2d and you push back 10 feet. 6.
6? Alright. Go ahead and just roll an attack for me too.
Sure. That's a 22.
22. Alright. Roll damage.
14.
Alright. As he takes the first knee up like towards you because he's just trying to like keep you back and like you're low, so you're just kneeing and kicking as best he can. He takes the first knee and like hits into your stomach and you kind of like flex as it hits and it still hurts a lot and kind of knocks the wind out of you. So as you're like leaning down, he goes to take an uppercut and actually like makes contact with your chin and then goes to throw like another punch and actually hits like towards your chest and is hurting you. And then you like grab at his hand once it's close enough. Yeah, grab at his hand, and then once you grab at his hand, pull him towards you, just headbutt as hard as you can. And with that, there's actually like a little bit of like force that comes from it. And he almost like once he gets hit, stumbles towards the edge and like is falling and just starts flipping backwards, and then slams onto the ground. Everybody's kind of like.
It's like a cinematic shot of you looking around and just cheering your name.
Alright. Everybody kind of cheering and clapping. Duke kind of looks over and gestures. And the victor is Orm! Brock will be removed from the tournament, and Orm will face the winner of Yoldguard and Sahara. He takes a nod.
Yikes.
Don't do it.
Don't do
You
it.
made it far enough.
Just quit.
You're good.
Alright. Now, a little bit of time passes. Your wounds are being treated to.
I'm also kind of healing myself a little bit too with my divine magic. So.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you can.
Spend my time keeping an eye on vetting people and make sure they're I just want to see if they're being shady about it, like not paying each other like the road or people are getting gypped or whatever.
Yeah, make a perception check. 20? For the most part, all of them seem pretty straightforward. You do see one individual that's like kind of like taking coins from people, like takes the coin that they're giving, and then as he's like bringing his hand down towards the satchel, very quickly like unties a little bit and takes probably like 5 or so coins out and then puts them in a separate pouch like on his back, and then ties the one back up, puts it in the satchel. Definitely looks like he's pretty skilled in this too. Like he's been doing it a while. Like he just cut a little bit off the top. Just grabs like as much coins as he can, puts them in his pouch, and then puts that pouch foot into the thing.
Are people like in a line giving them money or something?
They're kind of like bunched around him. Yeah. He's kind of like, all right, bets, and then people are giving him, and he's just like, takes it, and then puts the pouch in the satchel.
I'll go over there. Go up behind him. Scoop his back. Show him.
Just sit there, he kind of like turns with, what are you talking about? Alright, that's it for bets for now. Kind of takes the satchel, closes it, turns it around. Kind of leans a little close. Hey, look man, I'm just trying to make a little extra cash, alright?
Yeah, he's got a fan.
Try to look for that pouch that he's stashing them in.
Yeah, it's on his back.
How are you planning on paying all those back?
He's kind of looking at you. Like I said, I'm just trying to make a little extra cash. Nobody really notices.
Yeah, so are those people. They're gonna get robbed when you don't pay them back though.
Kind of like, who are you anyways? Everybody okay?
Honorary keeper, but you're going to jail.
Fucking boys.
Someone you don't want to meet. Pay those people what they owe.
Make an information check.
Ten?
10? Piss off, buddy, alright? He just kind of turns around and starts walking up the steps of the stadium.
And throw the dagger at the step where he's walking, just like trips and falls.
Make an attack.
Stab right through his Achilles tendon.
20.
Oh, 20.
Goes through the floor, hits
As
him.
you throw it and it hits, he actually, like his toe catches and like hits a little bit. But he has a shoe on, so it's not like the blade, but it hits and he just kind of stumbles forward and like drops on a knee towards the thing. You throw it with the one that like makes it your back or didn't? So once you throw it, he falls and kind of looks down and looks over. Gets up, starts.
Do it again, every other step he's walking up.
Take another attack.
19.
19. This time when he stumbles, a little bit of the coin falls out of the satchel and you see people like look over at it and then he's kind of, hey, don't even think about it, alright? And he starts like grabbing them and putting the coins in there. And he looks back and he's like, dude, seriously! Starts putting the coin in there. It's like, what are you... He starts stumbling down the steps, gets over towards you, puts the satchel over. Honestly, what's your deal? Holy shit.
Isn't bad.
I can't believe you've done this.
Give him back a what?
You're heavy style, like, you don't want to deal with this. You don't want to deal with this.
Buddy. You just sitting here like, I don't even know who you are.
I was gonna say that.
I don't even know what that means.
This is just a normal dude.
I'm just trying to make some extra coin. Look. Just keep it to yourself, alright? I don't want any trouble. I'm not a bad guy, I'm just trying to make some extra coin.
Where's the stuff going to?
Let's go to the keeper of the Coliseum here. He runs Coliseum here and in Target.
And Detroit.
So what about all the people that bet the money that they're supposed to get?
Most of these people here are stupid rich. They don't notice. I mean, some of them, yeah, but...
Robin Hood.
Step from the thieves
Turns around,
to the honest.
starts walking off.
right, if anybody wants to make some bets, I got you over here. Does the same thing.
Take him out, Chop. Just take him out.
Just like a blade through the neck.
I'd steal the coin from his bag.
I'm just gonna wait until he's not paying attention anymore. And then he like gets all lax and puts his stuff down and trying to take it.
200 IQ, put more coins in it, confuse him.
Man, today was a good day.
Intelligence.
Make his day. Alrighty.
Okay, Steve, all the people.
Alrighty. A little bit of time passes while you're still kind of watching that guy go around. He's taking bets currently for the fights between Yoldguard and Sahara. You watch Yoldguard make his way up. He is very, very focused. Even before when he was focused, make a perception check too. Even before when he was focused, he's much more now and even has like a slight grin on his face. Sahara's the same. She kind of makes her way up and they both kind of look. 15. Duke kind of introduces them both again. Very, very, people scream and have these like cries of battle.
Yoldguard's #1 fan t-shirt on.
Yeah. As that is occurring, there are several moments that pass where Duke is just kind of sitting there and watching the two of them like stare at each other for a moment before there's just a little bit of recognition between both of them that like this is what they're here for, you know, like this is what they're doing, and they know that what's about to happen is going to be something great. They're just kind of looking at one another. Duke looks to the both of them. You understand our rules and traditions and will honor them? And looks at him. They both give a nod, look to him, give a little bit of a bow, and look right back at each other. Fight! And as he does, they both are like walking closer towards each other while circling each other at the same time. So they're getting closer as they're walking more and more. They get to a point where they actually meet in the center, and she gives like a little bit of like a curtsy, and then he just like kind of bows his head to the side a little bit, and they take like 2 or 3 steps back, and then look at each other again. Yoldguard, off of his back foot, kind of lunges forward with a fist and swings towards her, and she takes her hands and just deflects it over to the side, and then takes her foot up and kicks up towards his stomach, and it hits, and he kind of connects, and then he reaches over and swings up towards the top of like up towards her head, and she just ducks out of the way, and then takes her foot up, kicks him in the front and then the back, and he like goes forward and kind of lets out like this, and then kind of leans and looks back towards her, who's behind him at this point and is kind of looking down, and then she kind of puts her hands up and then beckons for him to come towards her. At this point, he takes his tail, and you can see it kind of like flip a little bit, and then he looks back up towards her and is kind of in this like 4-point, like on all fours, like looking up, and then jumps from where he's at and kind of goes to like lunge back towards her and lets out this other like loud roar. And then as he does, she just like jumps over to the side and then fixes herself, and then now he's like standing and looking over at her, runs up towards her and takes his both of his feet and brings them up really quickly towards her chest, but she wasn't really expecting it as he's like up forward like this, and then actually makes contact, and for the first time you see her like actually get hit, and she slides back a little bit and then like looks down at her chest and looks up towards him, and then a little bit of a grin comes over her face, and she runs towards him and then starts like punching all over the place, and he's deflecting some of them, but a lot of them are connecting, and then he takes a moment and actually puts his foot up and kicks her really hard. She slides back a little bit, and then she actually takes a second. Once he goes to swing, she jumps up and jumps off of his paw, and then takes her foot around to the other side of his face, and he like kind of like gets hit and falls back a little bit, looks over towards her. You can see them like talking back and forth at each other and like hear like noises and then shouting and stuff. And then once he gets hit and turns back and like yells out, charges towards her, and then jumps up with like this kick that he has where he like puts his weight forward and then brings the back of his foot down and actually makes contact with like her chest, and she falls down in like this 3-point stance, and then from the 3-point stance like kicks her feet back up towards his head and hits him, and then he falls and hits onto the ground.
as he's on the ground, she jumps up and takes 2 steps and like kicks at his chest, and then as she's falling, starts like punching him as hard as she can on the ground, and he's trying to like move out of the way, but she's just like hitting up his chest and then like uppercutting the side of his face, and he's just bouncing back and forth, takes his paw like open-handed, like smacks her across the back of the head, and she gets hit really hard and then rolls over to the side, and then actually like reaches up towards her head and then looks and like sees blood, and, like kind of opens her eyes a little bit, and then runs over towards him. At this point, when she's running, he like goes to take this swing up towards her, and his legs are kind of spread. She ducks and slides underneath behind him, and then kicks him in the back. And as she kicks him in the back, he falls like square on his face. And at this point, they're both in the center, and they don't seem like they're trying to knock one another up. They seem like they're really fighting. And as he hits towards the ground, he like rolls on his back and then kicks himself up and lands and looks across at her. And then as she starts running towards him, he takes his palm and just kind of like brings it back, and then takes this fist and like defends for a second. She goes to take a swing, and he just smacks it to the side, and takes his palm and slams it into her side. And you see like this bit of a moment where there's actual like energy that's in there when he hits. There's just like all of his focused ki that he just like hits, and then she like kind of locks up and looks over at him for a second, and then he kind of takes like a grin, and then takes these 3 extremely hard punches towards her, and the third one connects, and as it connects, you watch her just like, her eyes go from this like open to just completely like relax, and then she like hits really hard on the wood, and everyone just, "You'll die!" Everyone starts clapping extremely loud and roaring and cheering. A little bit of time passes, and Duke walks over to Sahara and like puts his hand behind her head. "Everyone cheer for Sahara as well." And everyone kind of like claps and cheers. "For the glory of combat." And he kind of picks her up and hands her over to the medicine workers that are there.
Okay, my bad friend if I bet on Yoldguard's next fight.
We look at Orem from like the stands, and we're just like, "This is money! We're still." It says his name instead.
Yeah. Whoops. From inside out, please.
we flip the shirts around, and on the back say Vin's name.
My shirt's just right down the middle. This way, just 2 sleeves, and it drifts in down the middle.
My boy's winning, okay?
Yeah.
After looking over
Bet on him.
I'll bet on him. My 7 coins.
This kind of situation you've been put into, where the way that the ladder fell, you're going up against Yoldguard. You remember messing around in the circle and stuff, and you know, being competent. A little bit of time passes, healing is done for whoever needs it, and then you are brought up to the central platform again. Now, because of the way that this has worked out, Orem and Yoldguard will face for the championship. Yoldguard, step forward. He makes his way up the steps. He seems very large, standing tall, broad shoulders. Has like a little bit of blood and stuff on the fur, like on the chest, and the armor's a little ripped in some spots. Makes his way over and stands there. Orem of the Keepers, make your way forward. Kind of brings you both towards the center. You guys are standing across from each other. Yoldguard looking down towards you. It'll be a glorious fight. Kind of gives a nod. You understand our ancient rules and traditions and will abide by them? Kind of looks over, nod. Yoldguard gives a nod. Yoldguard kind of lets out like this loud roar. For Balthra! And then everybody kind of cheers and cries out.
I whisper from Warden.
Yeah. Fight! Go ahead and roll initiative.
Natural 20.
My boy!
Alright.
I'm on Ultra Instinct, boys. This is the final fight.
The music starts playing.
These are the 2 highest initiatives rolled this entire time.
Alrighty. Now, standing across from you, Yoldguard. Fuck everybody up here and you're more red.
Damn.
Racist! All cats look the same!
Alright, we're not.
Damn.
Not racist.
Definitely do.
Damn. Doesn't even look like me. He's a lion.
In the concessions, they're selling lion hats. It's just like a mane. I totally have.
Alright. Orm, you're first.
So, did we start both on the edge?
No, you're a little closer towards the center.
I'm
If you both fall off, is it whoever touches the ground first?
That would be insane. Like,
Just
maybe
tag.
You like tackle him down and
He's gonna like jump over my head and like pump me out. And I'm like,
Just bounce off your back.
well, it's not like he can land on his back.
Rocket blast. I
He's always gonna land on his front.
Oh my god.
That's true.
He just like
like,
Can't fall on our face.
I'm just gonna charge him. Fuck it.
Alright.
jeez. Braver than a U.S. Marine.
We're going for an attack.
Go ahead.
Go for it! Kill him!
Ooh, that is a 23.
23 hits. Hell yeah. Roll damage.
Knock him
That
back.
is a 12.
Roll damage?
Yep. Pushing him back, boys.
Oh my god.
Challenge me to make 30.
Fuck, I wish. I Fury of blows like that, I like it.
Alright. Once you run up towards him, you kind of Superman jump and then punch into his chest, and it actually like slides his feet, like his claws rake against the wood and kind of pull it up. You watch him, like, once he stops, actually like looks up towards you and like gives a little bit of a nod. And then once he gets knocked back this way, just kind of turns around behind you.
Oh, punch me, fuck! Something critical kick.
He's cheering.
Nothing
Right.
personal.
Once he gets behind
He
you,
doesn't even move.
he's gonna take one punch towards your back, and then he's gonna drop an elbow to the
What?
He's punching you in the spine,
So
dude.
the
He's trying to paralyze
first
you.
one
Easy win if you
probably hits him. 16, and then a
That's how I got my wheelchair.
Rewarding, boys.
23.
Big roll.
14 and 23.
We don't want to
Make a Constitution save also.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Come on.
run from a dragon.
That's 19.
19
Okay.
points of bludgeoning damage. You're not stunned though, so you're gonna...
Weed those. Weed those.
using his hammer.
Alright, so the first punch he hits, it actually like makes you like reach your head back, and as you do, he brings his elbow over towards your face and elbows you right in the forehead. And it actually like almost stumbles you back to where you're standing like right next to him as opposed to where you were in front of
Are
him.
you not blind?
Your turn. So you're kind of like on the side of him after he punches, like
Went back to the 8th grade.
you stumble back and look up at him to your left.
It's not master. It's right. Snake. Yeah, just regular walking snake.
I don't want to die.
Yes,
I'm not having to survive like
He got that elbow and forgot he was a keeper.
I can kill Tenebris, but if I die to a fucking cat,
Actually thinks his name's
if you want fucking attacks, we're going in again, boys.
Go for it!
Kill him!
Attack him.
Rip his head off!
Not hit.
What'd you get?
Solid 3. Why did he get 3 plus? Yeah, it'd be 8.
Close. After he hits the hit, you're kind of dazed a little bit and go to swing up towards him. He just takes his paw and smacks it out.
He's got a...
Smacks it out of the way and then takes his knee up towards your chin. And then after, if he makes contact, he's just going to take the back of his paw and like smack down. First one. 3 plus 8 is what? 11, right? And 15 for a second. So as he goes to knee up towards your face, you just take your hands and like kind of shove his leg down, and you can feel the strength behind it. Like once it hits your hands, they kind of like sting a little bit, but you throw it down, and then as you do that, he just takes the knee up one more time and then slams into your stomach, but you like kind of block most of the blow, but it still hurts. It hurts 9 damage. Then it's your turn.
Cough.
We're throwing another jab, boys.
Alright.
I go for the efficient headbutts.
Nope.
What'd you get?
Roll the 3 again.
Switch
I
dice!
did it with a different die.
Go to swing up towards him, and he just takes his takes his leg and his arm and just kind of blocks it up like this, and then throws your arm down. And then the same motion takes his leg up and swings at you.
Watch out for the plates.
11 and 19. At least I'm not. Wait, that didn't even really roll. Okay, so that's 11 damage.
Stop it.
That's max. Unless it was a crit, but it wasn't.
I'm gonna, with that one, I'll make him do a dex save.
Okay. Natural 20. At least it was on that, not a fucking...
Is it running down or up for stuff like this?
What's that?
Is it running down or up for, maybe just have it run down or up, I don't actually remember.
For you guys, it's rounded up.
Oh, so it takes 5.
Takes 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just push back 10 feet.
Alright. So as he takes his foot up and blocks it, then kicks you in the chest, you actually like catch some of it, and then throw his leg back, and there's this like surge of energy, and it kind of like spins him a little bit, and he rolls and tumbles, and then gets back up. You can see him like kind of like reaching down at his leg as there's some sort of, you know, electricity running through it, and he kind of looks at it, and then looks up at you with a little bit of a grin. It's your turn.
I'm gonna attack the leg that he was grabbing.
Alright.
Just fucking break it.
Ooh, 18 naturally.
Nice.
For 23.
Damage.
Max damage, 15 boys. 14.
It's like the Mortal Kombat where you like X-ray and see the bone.
No, it's something I just do for you. 6 plus 1 plus 8. 14. Final answer.
Final answer.
6 plus 1 plus 8 is 15.
Wait, it's...
6 plus 1 plus 8.
No, I'm sorry, it's 5 plus 1 plus 8.
That's
why, yeah, that's why.
That's what would be a millionaire.
Alright. So as you, like, he kicks and you catch the leg and then throw it back, as he's like reaching down, grabbing at it, you just run over and just stomp at the top part of it as hard as you can, and you watch his leg like kick back, and he stumbles forward a little bit. The 10 feet? Yeah. He shoves back and like just trying to catch his balance, and then runs up toward you. Jumps up like almost as high as he can, as high as he possibly can. It's just like Jordan flying above you. It gets to a point where like the sun is just cresting in that direction, so he's like in the sun flying down towards you. You see this huge paw flying down as he's dropping down a kick to the top of your head. It's a 24.
Yes.
The natural 1.
Oh no.
Okay, that's gonna be bad. That natural 1. Okay, so the first attack
that
does
knee is feeling
9
weak.
damage. Alright. So as he brings the foot down and makes contact with like the top of your skull, it jars your head to the side and you kind of stumble a little bit. But then he actually drops down like on his leg, on his other leg, and you hear like a pop, and he kind of stumbles a little bit and then backs up and tries to stand up like really tall, but then you can see him like fall down.
Like
a
break
little
his
more.
leg, fuck it. Full send it.
Kneecap him.
It's your turn.
Yeah, I'm going for the leg that he hurt on the only thing.
Alright, go.
18 again.
Nice, go roll
That's a
damage.
13, I'm sorry. Holy shit, man. This could be 19.
So D&D of Shadow of the Colossus, are you just going for that weak point?
Man. 9 damage.
9?
You're a fucking karate kid. You beat you with one leg.
Alright. As you just kind of run over, like how are you hitting the leg? How are you hitting it?
So, wait, which leg is the one that he just hurt?
His left.
Left.
Yeah, he's kind of just like stumbling around.
And I heard the other one, right?
Yeah.
I'm like inside, outside, like begging the knees kicking it. Like, I'm in my buckle.
Alright, so you just kind of swing around towards the back here.
As well as pushing him.
Yeah, so once you swing it, like you get in front and then just kind of jump around and then kick the back of the leg, and as you do, he kind of falls down, and then you just like take and shove his back, and as you shove his back, you use that energy, and then just a little bit of force, stumbles him over this way.
Well, so I wouldn't like go behind and kick him. I would like. Oh, it's like like.
Okay.
You're trying to make him
I
fall
see.
off.
Yeah.
So you're almost kicking like the inside of the leg.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, well, so if I was like right here,
Yeah, I got it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just kind of
We'll stand up. You show me what you want to do.
So once you bring your leg up and kick the outside and kind of try to buckle up, he falls down a little bit far enough for you to just kind of take like an uppercut towards his chest, and he flies back towards the edge. At this point, like once he gets to the edge, you actually watch like the back of his foot. His right foot makes contact, and then the left one like kind of stumbles, and you can see him like almost falling off, and then catches his hand on the edge, and then looks up towards you. Doesn't like run at you, is just kind of like stumbling, walking over, makes his way up towards you. Once he gets over, he's just kind of standing above you. Fight with honor, Moldrak. Then takes
Moldrak.
Fight with honor, Moldrak. Takes a close fucking forward.
I'm just standing on Moldrak and I can't see.
He takes off his stilts.
After he fucks your name up, though, takes a swing down.
No, mine.
Fucking some weird shit.
Maybe he's my dad.
Cameron, like, he's hallucinating that it's Muldrak, his son.
And in that moment, Orum realizes.
I was wondering why you're partially growing a mane in, but you thought it was like patchy. So you shaved it off.
Grow a mane?
Random blonde hair.
Actually, not white. I'm just blonde.
Wow.
This guy smells familiar.
So, swinging down, he brings just one punch, like just normal punches, like going for your face. First one is a 16. The second one is a 15. For a grand total of 18.
I'm gonna push him.
Oh, okay. Dexterity save? Wow, that's not good at all. That's 4.
So he's saving. I'm actually gonna use my divine invocation to max damage this.
Oh, okay.
So it's 16.
Oh, 16?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Casual.
Oh, okay. Oh, alright. Alright.
Push him back as well.
After he swings and punches down and hits you in like the face with the first one, it connects. He swings with the second one and it connects to the other side. And then you just kind of reach forward and headbutt up towards his chest as hard as you can, and the energy sends him back. At this point, when he gets sent back, he kind of rolls and then catches himself, and then goes to like put weight on his left leg, and then is like and then drops to where he's like on his knees at the edge, like looking up at you. It is your turn.
I am going to.
It's your turn. Fuck this man up.
Dash, not dash him. I'm gonna walk up to him and be like, because if I fuck this up to be so bad, I'd be like, you fight with honor as well. I'm gonna wind up for the keepers and we'll punch them in, boys.
Alright, so I'm making a turn.
Natural 19.
Atta boy, go ahead and roll.
He misses.
Real fucking awkward.
For the keeper, he jumps off.
Alright, as you walk over and
Sorry, 10, it's 10, not 12.
Alright, he's got 9 health, so he
Oh,
as you walk over and grab up at his head, you kind of grab a little bit of the mane and then say it and then punch. There's this loud like
Better not kill.
K.O.
Better not kill my dad.
everybody goes super quiet and then all goes like completely silent. As you hit and make contact and it kind of just you watch him like falling down off the edge, like over the side. As you look down, you're beat up, you're tired, you're like looking, and he just hits, and then dust picks up around him and like flies upward. And then you watch people run over and start tending to him. He doesn't look like he's extremely unconscious or anything. So as he kind of sits up a little bit and then like looks up towards you and then gives like a little bit of a nod and then gets helped off to the side.
Then Orm jumps with his feet down.
And then you hear it kind of like, shut up. And the winner of the tournament of Baltha, Orm of the Keepers. Clapping, nuts.
We change our shirts again.
Never flip around, you dicks. After he kind of shouts that out, you watch an individual kind of
4 or so different people. 2 of them walk with like a chest at their side, kind of make their way up and set it down.
Oh shit!
And then one of them has
He's already rich.
a small box that he's carrying forward, and then the other one's carrying some sort of a littler kind of lock box.
Holy shit.
Where's collection agents?
To the victor,
We take 10.
the glories of battle. And he kind of leans forward. 500 gold pieces for you.
Shit!
He kind of takes another step back.
Buy yourself something nice.
These greaves here, and he kind of reaches them up, with the symbol of Balthor upon them.
That worm has to
May they
one.
be a symbol of your victory here. Kind of reaches them over towards you. Then he reaches over towards the last one and pulls out this very, very nice kind of golden like symbol or like pendant that has the symbol of Balthor. Then he kind of reaches over towards you and takes it, kind of clips it, pins it in. And this, to recognize you as a brawler of Balthor in your ways of fighting. We will speak later. He kind of gives a little bit of a nod. The strong stand tall! Everybody, the strong stand tall! Then he makes his way down and around and out. Baji sitting over there is like, he's got like the beer on his belly. When Oren beat him, he kind of like threw the cup up and was like, hey, he did it! Hey, he did it, right?
We knew he would do it.
Alright, I gotta go talk to Duke, alright. And he kind of makes his way and starts like stumbling and going down and around down that way.
Easy. Fucking clap, dude.
He's in the bag.
Hell yeah.
How much health did you have?
21. Yeah, I was probably maybe. You were doing like I have a 90. You were doing about 20-ish.
Yeah.
Thick boy. I had to burn 2 level 4s, level 3 spells out to make up the max from the last fight. The fucking first guy really, like, almost seriously killed me.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now within the thoroughfare of the city, making your way back to the table.
Yeah.
I end up behind him at some point and I reach to go grab it. And I'm like, what dude? I'm like, you know what? I was in this position before. And maybe he really does need it. Compared to everyone else here and then just walk away.
Steal it.
I walk up to Shadow. I lost way more money than I thought on that bet. I cry.
Then he's like,
Nice controller.
That's awesome. Alright. Making your way back at the tavern. Fuel jar is in there. Brock's in there. Jackson, Gesture.
I'm gonna go to that magic shop.
Okay.
Cards.
Alright. Make your way inside. You find the individual.
Oh, I know it.
To buy something nice. Magic shop?
Goldar.
The one I have that has rabbits.
That's from.
How about a T-Rex?
That's what you get for winning.
An actual T-Rex! Perfect.
500 gold on a T-Rex.
Oh, that's right.
It was a raptor.
Oh,
Holdar. Or
Goldar.
Holdar's from Reed. Holdar's Reed. This is the guy in the magic shop. I don't know if he introduced himself.
I don't think we actually met.
ULDA.
Oh, Holdar.
Maybe we did, and I just didn't pay
No, that's
attention.
right. That's right. I thought you were saying Hold. Alright. Make your way inside and see Uldar in there. Has a package on there that has like a tie around it and stuff. Appears to be in like some sort of a box.
Fancy and shit out here.
It's
You
not
walk
yours.
in.
He just hands you the card.
I'm here to pick up my cards.
Oh yes. Give me a moment. Kind of grabs the box. Takes it forward.
Thank you.
Go ahead and
investigate them?
Yeah, same there. I'm not sure.
Those 3 days where you were without them, getting them back makes you realize like how much you actually like these cards. Like there's something about them that is just so thrilling to you and encapsulate. Like you're just enveloped by it, and you're like, wow, these are pretty great. I actually like these a lot. You hold them and they just feel nice. You take the holder, put it back on your belt.
Are they supposed to feel different, or are they just saying it?
Throw them.
I'll throw a card if that's what you want. Where? Where am I throwing it? You want me to break your window again? No?
At the wall.
Okay. What kind of wall does the guy have in his wood? Oh, I'm putting this right in the
Right
fucking wood.
through.
I might put the card outside.
Ow!
24 to hit.
You hear? I can't believe I'm sorry.
Please. 24 hit the wall.
It's stuck in
Is
his
that with the additional plus?
I got
Hit me.
Oh, you got
Same
damage.
spot.
You're plus 2. Once you throw the card, it feels normal throwing. And then as you're watching it, go ahead and roll damage.
Come on, do more damage than a wood wall has HP.
From across town.
12. As you slam, as the card like slams into it, you can see that it just has this like punch at the end of it where it almost has like, it looks like it's dying out a little bit, and then there's like this burst of purple energy that like slams it into the wall.
Nitrous.
That's different. Okay.
Gives a nod.
Thank you. About the other things, I put the pistols back on the table. Said you're looking, you're thinking about them.
I have no interest in these at the moment.
I could show you what they do again.
That's all.
Okay. Sure?
Shut his window.
You're supposed to look down the barrel.
I would maybe look at other things, but I'm broke. So, see ya. Have a good day.
He just gestures again, and then turns around and begins. Looks like arranging some stuff on a shelf.
Now I will go to the tavern.
Alright. Alrighty. Within the tavern, as I was saying, Yoldguard is there, Brock, that Jackson individual is nowhere to be seen though. Sahara is within here, Duke's over towards the back, and you can see Baji and him are talking and kind of going back and forth. As you walk in, Baji kind of, "Hi, Olive! Okay, come on."
You champion!
Yeah, as you make your way in, people kind of start. People are like walking up and like patting your back, and people are like handing you drinks, and it gets to a point where like everyone kind of stops and is like, "Good job, you know, for Brimshire," and just saying all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah, we saw my baby.
Finn's made everybody in the bar the shirts, so then everybody's walking around with O's and R's and shit.
He's just selling random wedge.
I wanted to strip and all I got was a
As you make your way over, excuse me, Duke sitting there, kind of looks over. Or please, take a seat. The rest of the brawlers kind of standing around, look over, and looking at them now, like you can see all of them have some sort of marking or something that represents brawlers. You can see that Yoldguard has like his fur, part of it is just like dyed black, where it has the symbol, and it's like kind of like leaky a little bit, like where it probably, you know, dripped down, but you can definitely see that it's pretty prevalent there. You can see Sahara has a tattoo like right here on her wrist. You can see that Brock has on the back of both of his hands the symbols that are sitting there. He's kind of leaning above. Duke has his, but it's like on here, and you saw that the first time like you guys met, and Baji kept showing you his on his arm. Typically, when we do let outsiders compete in the tournament, it is customary, if they are to win, to be given the option to become a brawler.